Hello and welcome to day 2 of the Razer Invitational Europe. We have got a top 500 from yesterday progressing forward to introduce themselves to their other contestants today. We're going to have a very, very close game, and of course, it's only the top 33 that will progress to the finals tomorrow. So it's going to be an absolute bloodbath, and everyone's going to try their absolute best to come out on top. I'm Newcastle Cremor 3, and I'm joined by the Furious 5 for today's cast. I know there's only 3 of us on screen. That'll be because we have our wonderful producer of Pepito and our wonderful and now solo observer of Swelder. So he'll be able to help us out and guide us through this game, so much love to him. But of course, Jack and Ryan, how are you feeling about this one?
Yeah, amazing. As you mentioned, top 33 is the only 33 that will make it out of today. But for everyone in Twitch chat right now, now's your opportunity to jump onto those giveaways. Drop exclamation mark Pringles in the chat. And if you type that in once, you'll be entered to join the famous Pringles giveaway, the 25 tube giveaway, of course, right here, home to the Razer Twitch channel. If that isn't enough, then you can drop exclamation mark ticket in the chat, and for every hour that you watch of this stream, you'll be given a ticket to win the Razer Viper mouse. And of course, we've got a huge giveaway going on at razerinvitational.com. Make sure to go and check that out. Thousands of dollars worth of prizes being given out there. And of course, if you're a Fortnite player yourself, got eliminated maybe in the first day, then you can tweet your moments at us using hashtag #YourChance. And with that, 10 awesome winners will receive a Razer Viper mouse each. So lots of peripherals, lots of hardware, all sorts of awesome stuff being given away right here on the Razer Twitch channel.
And yeah, having a look there, the tournament schedule is in front of you. So if you did get eliminated yesterday, don't you fret. You can go ahead and you can sign up for the next tournament, which sadly, it's going to be our final tournament. I didn't think the day would come. 6 tournaments. It's absolutely insane that Razer put this on for you guys. And, I've enjoyed every second of it, especially today. It's going to be playoffs. We've got finals tomorrow. And thank God, at least we have one more to watch, because it has been really entertaining so far. Top 500, as we talked about today, they are playing to battle it out to be in the top 33. You'll see there on screen. They'll be battling it out for the €6,600 in prize pool, the 500 for the MVP, which will be announced tomorrow. It'll be one of the 9 players in the top 3 teams that you guys at home can nominate, and then 570 in Razer products in peripherals. We know if you haven't been watching, there's the scoring below, 70 points for a victory, 5 points per kill. But if you have been watching, you'll see that day 1, it's usually fast-paced. It's usually everybody, trying to W key, everybody getting in each other's faces, everybody getting in each other's boxes and trying to take them down, being as aggressive as possible. Day 2, it's more about placement. It's more about playing safe. It's more about getting to the top 10, getting into that final few zones and picking up your kills there, because placement really does mean everything. If you can rack up a high kill tally along the way, though, it'll definitely help you in the long run. I'm really excited for it today, Peter. What about you?
Yeah, likewise. Again, you mentioned it. It's our penultimate game ahead, and we have just had word from our producer. We're actually going to go straight into this game. So without further ado, let's get started and let's kick off the action. Any second now, our producer's currently panicking quite a lot, so give him just a second.
Let's see our ugly faces for the last time. But here we have it. We're back live, our first game of 5 of the second day. Of course, if you don't know how this tournament works, basically you've got to make top 33 out of this day, and you've only got 5 games to do it in. So it really is up to everyone on this server to try and perform to the best of their abilities. We know there's the likes of my pick of last week, the winners, the actual tournament winners of last week, Refsguard, Andretta, and Scram playing in this one. And of course, there's loads of other teams and popular people, idols within the game as such, that are playing today. But, of course, our first full lobby to date, 99 players, 33 trios. We're going to kick things underway right now as the battle buzz make its final stop. Let's kick things off with the action.
And yeah, just seeing everybody fly in. It is day number 1, or day number 2, should I say, game number 1. And I'm really excited to see who is in this lobby, who is going to make it out on top. And if we're going to see some early engagement, I see a lot of congestion now towards Sweaty Sands and indeed Hunter's Haven, and indeed to the bottom southwest of the map there's a good few trios in and around there as well. I believe one trio has landed on a llama as well. So they'll have a decent bit of materials. Proxon is going to pick up one of the first knocks of the game, and it is going to be an elimination on hard finds duo. 21 Beastie going to go down as well. As now, we still have every trio still left in the server. Maxi is going to be knocked out by Hottie. As now Molotov, Mackleborn, and Zeri, they look down below. They are towards Coral Castle, and they will see what they can try and find here. They will see if they can spot out anyone out down below. Maybe pick up an early knock, but you know, I wouldn't be too focused on that. I'd be focused on gathering up some loot. Of course, Molotov, we see he only has a heavy assault rifle in hand. He'll need to pick up a shotgun for them close range engagements. So, you know, might try and see where the safe loot is, and it looks like he's going to do so. He's going to back away, farm up mats, and then see what he can collect on his loot route.
Again, this is the kind of differential in play style that we've been seeing now from day 1 to day 2. And day 1, this would have been Molotov's chance to just sprint down that hill and to try and wreak havoc on anyone there. But for the time being, he is just taking his time. Instead, he goes back, he looks to farm a bit more materials, and he focuses on playing for the late game. You know, he wants his heals, he wants his materials, he wants his guns, and he wants ammo to accompany it. For now, Mackerel board, sniper in hand, is going to try and encroach his way down towards Zari, in towards these coral caves, and for the time being, nothing on Coral Castle, my apologies, and for the time being, nothing too extreme, as for the most part, it is that little lull, that little breath before the plunge, where everyone takes their time to just equip what they can and get ready for this first zone.
Yeah, absolutely. As you mentioned, you know, this really is just the bit of silence we get before the start of the game. You know, there's kills that trickle in every now and again. Already, we've lost 10 players of this lobby, of which we've lost 2 full teams. But, of course, this is expected. We expect a very slow start today. Everyone realises the importance of placement points. Yesterday was their chance to warm up into the tournament, get a feel for what they're like, what they need to work on, what they need to do as a team to make it into this day. And then, of course, this day, I call it crunch time. Every week that we watch, this is the week that you've got to be most careful for. Because, of course, making it to top 500 out of everyone, there's going to be people of all different skill levels playing. And so, give it your A game, you might find your way on through. But now, this is an opportunity where you can't just perform. You've got to put on a whole show. And so now, this is the opportunity for teams to try and get ahead. You see, Josh actually just found himself 2 quick kills, and we've dropped yet another team, down to 86 players within the server. And all in all, I mean, everyone's quite content right now. We're just playing passive, not really giving all too much away. But at some point, it's going to have to be showtime for some of these teams. And at that point, they're going to have to make their move and try and find themselves either some kills or that rotation, and to try and stay as well as they can under that radar. Because, of course, as soon as you get put in a bad position, all hell breaks loose. And this is going to be an intense gunfight breaking out. It's Adams that's already lost his teammate. And, in fact, he's going to find a knock. But, unfortunately, their time is imminent. Adams is going to get finished. And Josh, the last man remaining for his trio. Tacey spots him out. And now it's a 1 versus 1. This is where one team will be sent home in the early stages. And that's going to be quite a daunting thought, considering, because, of course, that's already a 5th of their day gone. And if they can only have a couple of kills to show for it, then it's going to be a very painful, very painful job for them in the next 4 to try and make their way through to the top 33.
Yeah, you know, a 1v1 is not how you want to be, especially with only 3 trios eliminated from the server so far. As now, we're going to see Sunbox trying to get into Hottie's box here. His teammate has now arrived, and to apply a bit of pressure, he's just getting up close and personal with that legendary tac shotgun. He's going to take him down. It's going to be a kill for him. A few floppers there if needed, but they need to try and build up on out of here. And Sunbox realizes that he doesn't want to get trapped in by Hottie's teammates. He doesn't want to be boxed in there because you've nowhere to go. You can't really build out at all. You need to try your best to get out and maybe take an exchange. As now we see they're just farming mats, just gonna place walls there as well, maybe to get some information to where these other players are who are just waiting. The other side, of course, we have the X-ray. Sadly, the other teams do not, as Toby is just going to begin to hold that floor, and now he's going to begin to back away. Fexor and Hyde, I believe, they are still looking to see what they can find, as petrol can is going to be thrown in and it's going to be exploded. But for now, kind of just, you know, it's just a few bullets. There's no actual shots coming in here, really. There's nobody's hitting anything. It's nothing really to worry about too much. It's just people letting each other know that they're there, and it's gonna end with one team getting in the car and leaving. So, you know, not the most exciting of fights that we've had so far, but it could be an important one nevertheless.
Without a doubt, and also Toby C will be the ones who just they hightail it again. They spot those people around them, they hear them, they weigh up the options and decide, you know what, it's just easier if we take the highway. As for now, it's going to be just a bit of farming up for the rest of these teams, and for Baby Buffon, again, another great name. He's going to take a moment to just stagnate in this desert. And again, this desert is quite a central position. 9 times out of 10, the final zone will be here. So he is actually in quite a nice position to continue farming on up and seeing just what sort of materials he can equip himself for the final zone. We look at Saxy here. Again, look at his materials. He had about 500 on everything. His guns, they're semi-decent. They're green. They're not the best, but he's also got mats to protect himself with. This is a really good setup. Considering we haven't even seen the second zone yet, Saxy is pretty much in the best position you could hope to be in.
Yeah, absolutely. Does find the tag. That's dropped someone a 51 shield, and that's quite a costly thing to have at the start of the game, though. It's manageable at least. You know, everyone can afford to lose a little bit at the beginning, because of course, you know, as things proceed, you'll kill more people. They're not going to be the best of players, you know, they're not going to be the creme, the best of the best, I guess. In that sense, they're just going to be the average player that you're going to try and fight your way through. But for the teams in the later stages, it's going to become incredibly hard to heal against, because, you know, as soon as they find a tag, they will apply that pressure. And for most of these teams, well, they don't particularly want to be the ones taking those engagements. They're simply going to be hiding, tucked away across the map. And for Bassi and his team, KTs and, of course, Phillips, they're in the north side of the storm, or rather the circle at Pleasant Park. It seems to be they are uncontested there. They're going to have a field day getting all of this loot. They've just got to be cautious of these people rotating in. Bassi's aware. He's going to pick up the car, but you have a look at the map. Everyone seems to be fairly evenly distributed. We see in the later stages people sort of clump together towards one side of the zone. But for now, everyone seems to be quite content with where they are. Everyone seems to be very, very happy with their positioning. And we're going to have to wait and see how things continue.
Yeah, wait until things continue. Wait until everybody gets into the zone. When it gets down to those better players, as you put it right in the creme de la creme, or the creme de la cremer, as I was just thinking.
I heard that. I was waiting for it.
As we see, actually a knock going to come in here. It's Andy Mon, I believe, that picked up that knock, as Spillum will begin to res his teammate. Silico having a look over, a watchful eye over them as they begin to heal up. It was Link Tessa that actually went down, and now a lot of Slurpfish there to get him up to full HP. He does have the White Hills as well as the shield, but it looks like Andy Mon, Clutch Alphas and Kicksard, they are just going to get in the car and they are just going to begin their early rotate into the zone. But we're going to jump into the POV of Vega, Yol and Vixture, who are in a little bit of a fight here. They are on the low ground compared to Phoenix and their trio, as now they're actually not being pressurized too much, but now another team has come to just say hello. They have just peeked their head up in this fight, which could cause a little bit of problems here. The Edic gonna come in from Vega maybe, as the rest of his teammates are just burrowed in the sand, and they might just begin to rotate. Yeah, that's exactly what is going to happen. Decide not to take any engagements really. They're going to use this sand tunneling feature, try and get towards Colossal Coliseum and get into that zone. A lot of teams already making their way into that third zone, or second zone rather. So, you know, I don't think we're going to see that much again. I believe there's around over 80 players left in the server. Yeah, 88 in fact. We've only lost 3 trios all in all, so like we haven't seen that much fighting, which is surprising, because usually by this time yesterday we would have had maybe, I want to say 55 players left in the server. But now Storm Surge is definitely going to come into it. You know, people are going to have to go down early on. I believe we'll have to go down to about 70 after it reaches second or third zone. So, you know, people will have to take these engagements, but right now everybody's just farming up mats. Everybody's happy just to, you know, sit and wait for somebody maybe to challenge them and maybe make a mistake and them to capitalize on it, and that's exactly where it is. The Storm Surge weren't going to come in, and you know, people could be in a little bit of trouble, especially Stitchy and his trio, because they are a little bit below, but now they're just gone above as we jump into the POV of Pablo Wingu.
Again, you've said it perfectly. The Storm Surge is going to become a pivotal point now. And for Pablo, Wingu, and Co, again, another great name. It's going to be a chance for these teams to try and do a bit of damage. And there's only so much damage they can go around without there being eliminations. And of course, we start seeing those knocks come through now. Crizzy able to shut down SMD. We got Sicko being knocked down as well. And for the meantime, because Pablo Wingo, he knows there's a team in that hut, in that little house that's kind of been created there, but he just can't fight them simply because trying to take that engagement will bait every other team there to then suddenly start raining hell down back onto them. And again, you don't want to be the man who starts the fight in this scenario. It will start adding up, and again, as they constantly build up now, they are wary of people coming towards them. It does cement them 600 above, though, so the protection from the Storm Surge. 85 players left standing, and as everyone kind of gets into this second zone, we await to see what's next.
Yeah, very, very silent now across the server. Still 82 players in the server as Justice just picks up a kill onto Zeri. But of course, as you mentioned, you know, this Storm Surge is going to be a bit of a turning point. Teams are going to try and take aggression. They don't want to take the damage. And you're seeing that right now as JJ2 caught in the storm. 8 points of health, ticking down as well. Finds himself a kill. That's huge, but he's got to continue running because at some point he is going to tick down to that storm. And now he realizes this. He's not going to go for the loot. Instead, he's making his way on forward, and he will outrun it. So he'll stick at around 45 points of health. Comfortable for them right now. Chug Splash going to be popped for him and his teammate. Pop the minis, got the bigs at hand. Things are looking upward for this trio, but you can see Dackham there just finding himself a quick knock. We'll be looking for more, but unfortunately taken out of the equation. And in fact, his whole team dropped to the floor in the storm as well. They'll leave this lobby quickly with only 1 kill to their name. Still 3/4 of the lobby still within the picture. And teams are only just getting started.
Yeah, teams are just getting going, really. You know, Storm Surge is now active as well. Demonova and their trio, they don't really have to worry about it too much. Crizzy picking up 2 nice kills as well. We're just going to have a look at the map to see where everyone is situated. And, you know, towards that northwest, yeah, I believe northwest of the next circle, there's a lot of teams. I believe around 5, maybe even 6, you know, trios and a few duos there as well that are gonna run into each other, and it's gonna be a little bit hectic towards there, especially for the red team and the pink team that are gonna be rotating in as well. As now we jump into the POV of Stitchy, Monster Muncher, and Vertex Shift, who they're just boxed up. They're sat, and again, we're seeing this passive playstyle. The Storm Surge has gone because we reached the 70 players. Everybody is now safe for the time being. Of course, we will see the Storm Surge if there are above 50 left in the next zone. And to be honest, I don't see 20 players dying here. I really don't, because like the way that everybody's playing, everybody's just so passive. Everybody just wants to play for placement, which is the correct way. I understand that, but nobody's being caught out. Everybody's really being smart with the rotations for the time being. We've only lost 1 more player since I've started talking, which is kind of strange. Highness Squeaky is going to be knocked here. Now we see 33rd FNCS final with his trio. They've picked up 2 kills already. They are in the storm. We've lost actually another trio on the time being. We're down to 25, but still we're over 2/3 of the lobby left. And look at the amount of arrows in that zone. It's absolutely ridiculous. Everybody is very, very close by, and this is going to get hectic towards the 3rd and 4th zone. It's going to be absolutely ridiculous, and we're going to see a lot of gunfight on people rotating in, and some people will be taken out and sent out of this first game.
Without a doubt, and again, in just a moment, this whole area is going to erupt. For the time being, 33rd FNCS final is going to try and ring out a few shots here and there to just catch out some of these members. Able to do so, there was Clutch Alpha's you, and his team will instead look for maybe a way out here as they all stack together. We need to get that crate, just get a bit of extra materials, and we'll try to make their lives a bit more comfortable for the time being. They are in that new zone, and in just a couple of seconds, we'll see where the 4th zone will be, which will give us a better scope on how these teams are going to have to rotate and how they're going to have to catch off these members. Again, First one comes in. It's a fairly centralized new zone, so for the time being, we look at Jaseth for now, again, right in the center of it. He's going to be at the precipice of all of this action. And for the time being, I think all he can hope to do is just take a few pot shots, have a few snipes at anyone who dare comes his way.
Yes, and right now for the majority of these teams, as Jack mentioned, you know, there's not going to be that many teams dying. Their life is paramount to the fact of trying to risk their lives for a couple of kills, because everyone now knows the importance of placements. Day one was sort of your typical, not even arena, maybe like your low-level arena, you know, when you just start out, you know, that level 1 or Division 1, Division 2 standing where you're sort of like going to hold W key, you're going to push people because the talent isn't that great. In this day, you're looking at Division 10. You see the majority of the arena points on these people. It's usually 10,000 plus, and that's quite an interesting standpoint to have, because everyone treating this like it's their life. And of course, for some of these people, it will be, as we just hit 2/3 of the lobby alive. 66 out of the original 99 remain with us as we collapse this third zone, and it's going to start forming into the fourth in around 3 seconds. Everyone is going to be squeezed even closer together. That's more people, more action, more gunfire. More importantly, it's going to push us even closer to our eventual victor.
And yeah, as you see on screen, some favorites in the chat as well. One of my personal favorite trios to watch, Vato, Kinstar, and Airwax. We've seen so much of them throughout these cups. They're always in and around the last day, I believe. I don't think they've won one yet, but I think they definitely have got prize money, if not have won some of the Razer peripherals. So that is a top 5 finish, if I'm not mistaken. But now we see Storm Surge being active, and this is what happens, because when the team is below it, like AMB and his trio are, they need to get aggressive. They need to put some pressure on. And now we are gonna see, you know, them maybe panic a little bit, trying to get some damage done, trying to get above that threshold so they don't take damage to that Storm Surge and don't end up going down because of it. Because we have a super stacked lobby here. Everybody here is so together. You know, you see everybody on top of each other. You almost don't have a room to breathe, and that's only going to get worse now in the time being. We still have 63 players left, so we have to lose, I believe, another 13 in the next few moments, which is a huge number to lose. So this is going to get absolutely crazy, and that's the siren. The klaxon has been hit, and it's Lexo, AMB, and Aleri that are going to take the damage. Now they have to look and try and find, and I think this team is going to be pushed. The heal up is going to come in. They're 16 below. They need to do a tiny little bit of damage, and they're going to try and do it through the builds if at all possible. Because now the spam will come on through, but they can't connect it. And look how much damage Lexo is taking. It's absolutely ridiculous. He's absolutely burning through all these pots that he has, and now he's going to take damage because of it. Because when you open yourself up to take those shots, you also open yourself up to receive those shots. AMB is going to go down, so that's another person that can output damage. He's been taken out. And look, down to 13 HP. He's going to be eliminated. That's going to be another trio gone, I believe, because the other player was only on 13 HP, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, it's a tough way to go, but that's going to punish the passive players. And sadly, it's just a part of Fortnite. We're going to lose, I believe, 2 more players in the next few moments, and then Storm Surge will be gone, as 33rd is going to receive a few shotgun bullets in the back. He's going to drop a few chug splashes to get on out of there, if at all possible. And he's going to begin to rotate over. So a little bit crazy now for the next few moments as we move into the 5th zone.
Yeah, any second now, it's going to be complete and utter chaos raining down onto this zone. Not that it already is. Again, these teams are constantly trying to just hack into these boxes that one another are carrying. And the third FCS finals, like a substantial amount of damage. He tries to push on across that. He's had a bunch of other 77 being able to spam up at that same player. He's just taking a substantial amount of damage where he drops on down. Ghetto Doven as well. Going to fall, lose his shield to get that zone. He's going to continue doing damage to him as well as he's forced on back forward. BDG as well. Trying to go for the high ground, trying to encroach on these members as he gets this high ground, and from there he'll look to wreak havoc down on everyone. Does he heal up himself first? Well, Smash 77 does the exact same thing. For him and his whole team take a moment to just breathe and hold. For the time being, it's going to be Hans. Hard Finds duo there to fall as well, as does ADNS duo. Again, all players ready to start moving. That 6th zone coming in just a couple of seconds now, and for now there's almost a lull. Everyone holds their breath, as in 3 seconds it's going to be a mass exodus of players rotating to that new zone.
Yeah, and this is where a lot of the builds are going to be burnt out. The majority of these teams going to either build their way across and not risk their lives at all, or for Monster Muncher, he was looking to bounce pad, but the pressure from above is going to cost them a bit of shield, and now they have to post up and not allow for that to happen. They're simply going to take the low ground in this scenario. We see on a screen, that's disgusting. I don't know how that happened, but they just got absolutely deleted by Airwax and co. As now Monster Muncher will get the rotate in with his team. Not exactly the height that they had in the first game, but most certainly, or rather before this started, not in the first game. But now they'll be looking to regain this height as they move their way on forward towards this new zone. Still 17 seconds for people to move towards this new zone, and when they do, well, they're going to be gifted with every opportunity to apply even more fire and terror across onto these teams. And for Airwax, they'll simply have this height and they'll be gaining right now, because of course with this height they're not going to be pressured at all. They're just going to apply as much pressure as they can. As we see, Vino's just fallen, Storm Surge active once again, and for teams that are below the threshold, well, this is just going to be an added bit of pressure to the already exceeding hype that this tournament presents. At least now they'll be looking for something. Hig is going to find the knock, and Airwax still retaining this height. Very good job as they'll continue to apply this pressure. We've still got 20 seconds until this zone moves to the 7th, and there's still a quarter of the lobby remaining.
And yeah, this is going to get absolutely ridiculous. And I'm just looking here. I can't take my eyes off away from this. Kinstar, Airwax, and Vato, they are definitely not the team that you want above you in this scenario, because they are going to apply so much pressure. A nice shot there from Ghosty onto Ovo, I believe, and Ovo is going to be eliminated. It's going to be Josh that picks up that kill. Andymon is going to be knocked as now the spam comes on. He's going to be taken out, but still on this high ground is Vato, Airwax, and Kinstar. Vato going to drop down and maybe connect the bills and try and have a look. He has popped a pepper or a chili. There he sees he's spamming on through. He will actually hit a headshot there as well. He's going to jump down and charge up that charged shotgun, trying to get up close and personal, put a little bit of damage down to try and rack up a few kills. They only have 4. They are trying to increase that tally, but this is going to get absolutely hectic for the next few moments. 17 players left in the server, 8 trios, and Bateau, Airwax, and Kinstar, they're still alive, and they are in pole position to take this one. Toby is going to be held in the storm here, I believe, and he could be in a lot of pressure. We're going to jump into Pablo Wingu, who is on the low ground with his trio for the time being. Airwax picking up a knock and actually picking up a full kill as well. Toby going to be knocked in the storm by Ghosty. As Vitality Airwax now takes a lot of damage, but he does have the pots to heal up. Big Pot going to be dropped over as well to get him up. He's already racked up 4 kills. But Pablo Wingo, he's got 5 on the right of your screen. As now 12 players remain, 5 trios are still left in the server, and Airwax, Vato, and Kinstar, they are not going to let up on this high ground. They are just keep spamming down into the bills, just applying the pressure on the teams down below, making them fight. Just, I have everything and you have nothing, as they spam on down below, trying to find something, trying to just make teams run into each other. And that's exactly what is going to happen down on the low ground. If they can pick up a few bullets, stray bullets through the bills as well, that would be great. But I mean, look at all these players stacked down below. It's absolutely ridiculous right now, as Ghosty tries to jump up and tries to hit a few shots with this charged shotgun, if at all possible. He's being pressured by Airwax now as he drops down a little bit. Airwax is going to continue to build back up. Vato has been eliminated. Ghosty is going to pick up that, but he's going to be knocked. Airwax is going to take him down. Twitch Paddy is going to go down, I believe. Or Twitter Paddy, excuse me. Airwax and Kinstar now the 2 out of this trio still left alive, dropping on down, trying to find Stitchy. As Stitchy runs out into the storm and Airwax goes chasing. He needs to find this kill. He does, and he needs to get this elimination. He does exactly that. Now tries to get back into the storm. Downson, it has been knocked. Kinstar is so low. Airwax has been taken out, and so is he. And Vertex Shift now. Look at all these floppers. Wow. There's absolutely no chance that he is going to lose this. I don't think so, unless Wingu can find him through these builds. He is out of floppers. Vertex Shift, he has enough to go around. He has 3 more. He wins that absolutely comfortably. It's going to be a 6-kill victory for Stitchy, Monster Bunch, and Vertex Shift. What a game one we've seen there.
Without a doubt, that was a lot of floppers he had there. So really, really good stuff by him. And I see that our producer Pepito has finally found out what to do to your green screen. Ryan, it looks absolutely phenomenal but for the time being. Again, great stuff for now, but without further ado, let's take a look at our Intel moments. Let's see just what's been selected as our prime time to watch out for.
Peter's having too much fun on my green screen, man. It was the snowy background and now this. He's having too much fun. He's probably giggling behind the screen. He knows what he's doing. But nonetheless, yeah, the intel moments, of course, of game number 1. We see Andy right now gets knocked the 2 floppers, most certainly, in the hands. Could have done well in the late game, but of course, as you mentioned, the amount of floppers was paramount towards the end of this game. And obviously, there was no way that they were going to lose out. We see Ghosty right now drop on down, find the tag. Unfortunately, not enough to get the finish. Airwax chasing this kill. He knows at this point, I've got no heals. I've just got to go for the kill. He ticks on down, nearly finds downs as well, but unfortunately, he was removed from the server. And here you see Pablo. Well, he had no chance. He had 2 medkits, but it was no count to that of the 8 floppers of the eventual winners of game number 1. Very well played to them.
A great start there. Game 1 started off with a bang. There was so many players left in the server. It turned actually out into a heal off as well, so it really did go down to the wire. I'm really excited to see what we have in game number 2. But just before we announce that, the winner of the Pringles giveaway is Alice James. Alice James, congratulations. Make sure you have your whispers turned on, and Kryzak will message you. We'll get that sent over to you as quick as possible. But that's it for game number 1. We're going to throw it over to a quick little break. We'll be back shortly with game number 2. Don't go anywhere.
Hello, 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 and welcome back as we watch the next and second out of 5 games for our Razer Invitational Europe. It's the second day. The top 500 of the first day are all here to compete with one another to try and come out on top. We recently, well, I say recently, of course, in our rules, the top 33 will progress to the next and final day to compete for that massive prize pool. For now, though, it's going to be a fairly even distribution around the map as everyone finds their own POI, snuggles up to it, and then attempts to fight for it. Without further ado, let's get this underway.
Absolutely. You look at the map right now, very spread out once again. Teams not really risking all too much. And just to give you guys a bit of an update right now, the current first place champions as of right now are at 118 points in one game. That's Zorni, Fnagen, and Mappy. And then we've got in second Kaspersa and Fixie. Third place Themo, Small, and Warakech. And then it goes down and down. 33rd place is currently Airwax, Vato, and Kinstar at 75 points. It's very, very doable. They've just got to find their way on up. And it's going to be right now, as we've already lost 6 players in the lobby, but still a full 33 teams in this one. And of course, as time continues, that'll whittle on down for the time being, though. As you mentioned, Peter, everyone's just going to get comfy in their POIs. They're going to try and do their bit to try and get themselves some loot, some materials, some weaponry, and then find and pick their first engagement. But it has to be a good one, because an early exit in the second day is most certainly a costly exit, and more than probably will get you out of this tournament completely.
And yeah, I know you were just talking about the leaderboard there. You know, I wonder how many times on this stream we've actually said the names Trick, Kaspersa, and E11 Fixie. Like, their trio has been there time and time again, all the time. Literally, I think it's been the only ever present in almost every tournament, and indeed on finals day as well. I don't think they've missed one. It's been absolutely ridiculous here as MZ is just going to back away from this exchange. He's actually going to be hit here on the way out. A good shotgun shot. I think he hit him for 72 white there, but it's not enough. He's going to be taken down, and he's now being eliminated. Sir is the last player. He's just going to try and build away if he can, but he's caught between a rock and a hard place. He's going to be eliminated. That is another trio fallen by the wayside, and I mean, that's just unlucky. There's not a lot you can do there. You're being caught between not only one but 2 teams. You're low HP anyway because the game has only started. You haven't found many shield. You've been eliminated. Your game 2 is over. Not much to say about that other than unlucky. Maybe you'll have better luck next time.
Yeah, these players all just set up at the ready. For Sweaty Sands, there's only 2 groups here, so hopefully once they exchange blows with one another, will be a complete POI in which they can just loot all they want. We look at Grizzy at the moment. He's got a fair bit in that blue AR. He does have a little bit of ads to his name as well as a few bits of utility, at least for shields for the time being, as we try and spam down Majin. Again, trying to do damage wherever possible, but for the most part, his team will pursue those who cower in the buildings below him. Again, any second now, we'll see more contact reach on out. Merchant again, having just been able to heal up a little bit. We'll get his shields back in now, look to fight a bit more. Unfortunately, though, he's being pressured from the high ground, and that really is going to play to his detriment now. He'll cower down below, hoping to just be able to stay safe. This Grizzy now slowly gets pressured by his teammate. Again, it's contact around the board. Every member of this team is fighting one another in what has become 3 individual 1 versus 1s. Again, Grizzy now being swarmed with only 50 HP left. It looks like he may fall here, however, his opponent will bail from the fight. Again, a bit of a lull now as each player looks to outmaneuver one another and get back into this fight.
Merigin going to take around 70 points to that AR. He's going to pop a mini, but 150 is where he's at right now. He's fortunate enough to pick up a big pot, and now Grizzy looks to take aggression. He'll continue to move on through the buildings. Just found himself a lovely sniper rifle that he can use, and he's even going to take this time to farm up because minimal amount of materials in his pockets, and that will cause a lot of problems. Dragon's Breath popping on through. This team is going to be looking quite comfortable, but there's a lot of gunfire. Krylex to fall, and now Jack Hero has to rotate on through. Play passive behind the builds, play very smart and intelligently about his next move, because of course, being a man down and with your teammate Rufus with no shield, This is a very costly engagement no matter what the engagement is and no matter what the enemy team are looking like, because 3 guns compared to 2, it can be quite a costly factor, as the harpoon used to try and destroy the floor from before, or excuse me, the floor from below. He will be able to make his way on through to the building, the first floor, farm up a little bit more, get ready to take the next engagement. This team simply using this time to reset and reconfigure, but Rufus, as much as he is a help, he is a detriment with only around 80 points of health. Now, he really will be a problem as the rest of this team swarm them at Misty Meadows.
Yeah, we're going to see Forza go down. He's going to be taking down one of Nate's trio today, as now Chikiro and Rufus, they're really just caught here. They're just stuck. They can't really do too much. Only 8 builds on Chikiro, so, you know, he doesn't really want to, you know, get into a build fight at all if it's at all possible, because he won't be able to box up for too much. Rufus just drop down onto the low ground, maybe to farm up some more mats underneath the house. But we are going to jump over to a different POV. It's going to be Josek, Jojo, and Fish Falco, who, for the most part, are on their own towards Retail Row, and it looks like they are going to begin to move on towards a different destination. Keysix is going to be knocked. He is going to be eliminated as well. So I believe Nate is the only player left in that trio. So not the perfect start for one of the big names in this lobby. But 74 players remain. We've lost 3 trios already. And if Nate goes down early on, it could be a 7th. As now, he's just going to swim across, see what he can find on his way, just get into the zone. Another knock Loco EU picking up that one. And, you know, again, there's not much going on here. You know, we won't have that much going on in the first and second zone. Everybody's just going to farm up mats. They're going to take the early fights if they need to, and then they're just going to rotate in. They're going to box up, and then we might see some action. But for now, you know, it's just going to be a lull here. You know, it's pretty boring for us all to watch, but, you know, it's part of the game, sadly.
Without a doubt, and again, it is that little lull in which these teams rotate around to this second zone. Again, this second zone is actually towards a craggy cliff, so we will see a bit of elevation and altitude make a very big difference as to how you fare in these fights. For the time being, those towards the desert are going to have a really hard time rotating. However, luckily, due to that little sand tunneling feature that's been enabled for this server, they should be okay for the time being. But for the most part, they are just going to sprint their way on forward. They're going to avoid a bit of damage here and there and prefer to just take mats. We take a look at Kicksman here, being one of those prime examples of just getting mats, ignoring fights. There'll be a team that passes right by him right now. However, I suspect he will just focus on farming rather than fighting.
Absolutely, they're now here, and now this is the opportunity to pull the trigger. They try to engage. This is the most important one of them all, of course, for this team, yet to get a kill, and so that's going to be quite an interesting scenario for them to be in. See if they can find their way onto the board, but Lola's going to use that tunneling feature once again. Teams tend to use this a lot more now. We saw, you know, having it being reintroduced in this cup. Sadly, it wasn't for number 4. But in this one, most certainly, everyone using this to the advantage of their own. It's a free rotate. You're faster than using your W key. It's an easy rotate, you know. Yes, admittedly, you do take, you know, you are a bit of a target when you do that. But at the same time, you're a target when you're moving with builds anyway. So, for them, it's as easy as anything. They're going to continue to burrow, sand tunnel. Everyone seems to be quite happy with using this feature. And for Tohash and his team, they took an early exit in the last couple of tournaments, or rather the last tournament that we saw in the finals. They weren't even able to get themselves really off their feet. And now, they've got to be cautious of their surroundings once again at the Colossal Coliseum. They'll be looking to simply just bail and not provide any form of peak, any form of proposition at that to allow them to take some shots. All in all, though, Colossal Coliseum, it seems dead right now. No one really all too much around. We've still got 72 players. Admittedly, it's a lot faster than our first game, but it is still at an incredibly slow pace.
Yeah, still an incredibly slow pace, you know, not a lot of things going on for the time being. Onyx Wings, Fire Hunter, and Slight now going to rotate in. They took a few shots at Gendaway and his trio, but nothing to really write home about. We see Onyx Wings on this legendary pistol as well. We know it can do insane amounts of damage, and a lot of pros we see actually pick up and use it. You know, they prefer it to using an AR because you get more bullets in total, but less bullets in the mag, so you have to be really accurate with it. And you have to be hitting those headshots. It does actually hit for an awful lot. So, you know, if you can hit your shots, it's definitely worth the pickup. I see Tomahawk off in the distance there. Good to see him back with his trio. As, you know, I believe on final say they didn't have the best of times, if I'm not mistaken. I believe they only picked up maybe 1 or 2 kills in total. So, hoping to do better here and maybe qualify for finals day tomorrow. As Slight goes for a snipe shot, he is going to miss, but he is going to begin to rotate into the circle. Here we're going to see Storm Surge. It won't be active for too long because the warning has come in and we only need to lose, I believe, 2 more players before that goes away, and I've no doubt that we will lose 2 before that even becomes active. As now we see Onyx Wings and K-Slight. They're going to farm up a drop here, see what they can get. Just spraying it so it'll drop down quicker. They don't need to worry about the damage threshold because they are well and truly above it. As now, actually, Fire Hunter is going to take a shot there. He needs to be careful. The snipe shot has been hit, but Toha's Gendaway and Piraculino, they're not going to push off it. They are going to just sit and wait. They're just really rattling off shots, seeing what they can find. If they can get a knock, they might maybe push, but for now, they're pretty happy where they are boxed up on that hill.
Once again, it is that standard kind of second, third, fourth ring where everyone is just playing a bit passively. Nothing too optimistic gets thrown out. Nothing too extreme gets thrown out, as everyone just takes their time with their pushes. They don't commit anywhere, and for the most part, they just hold on for their positioning. Again, we don't know when the third zone will come, and actually, we look at the damage threshold right now. It might actually come through. No one has really committed to a fight just yet. Curtis below the threshold right now is going to need to try and do some stray damage on a player. I think he's ready with this AR to try and spam down a wall just so we can try and catch out some of these members coming their way. That being said, though, as the collapse of this team, all of them will fall. Just like that, the damage threshold is nullified.
Yeah, they've got to be careful, and if they knock these players completely out, it'll be removed. And just like that, they will have no say. Hulk dropped to the floor, and it seems to be that it will go away for another day. X4 currently knocked, and actually Scalar going to get picked up by his, or rather, he's going to pick up his teammate. And now, they are going to be looking for their way on through back into this game. But as you mentioned, Curtis, he was slightly below the damage threshold last time, and most certainly now knows this. With this information used, he can make his way on forward and to try and find himself above if that threshold was to come in again. Because, of course, it's very easy for this threshold to come back. You know, don't lose many players for the next couple of minutes, this next zone or two, then most certainly we're going to have another Storm Surge on our hands, and that means more people to fall. And so now, with 68 players in the server and 55 seconds until the third zone starts to move, teams will be looking eager to get on through with this rotation. For Tohash and his team, they'll just simply do it by foot and make their way on through. They spot the players on the side, sniper shot missed, and so now he's going to continue on forward and use this time to box up and be prepared for whatever is thrown at him next.
Yeah, we're just going to have a quick look at the zone now, and everybody seems to be almost in, if not in, as Toha is now going to go for a snipe. He might hold the team that are coming down below, but they are already in the circle. They can box up. They don't need to move at all. I believe it is Fire Hunter Onyx Wings down below him. As now we move over to Joe6 Famon, I believe. That's a tough one. As you know, we've seen a lot of different names, to say the least. A lot of tough names for us native English speakers to pronounce, and it always seems to be, you know, the ones that we spectate that we can't really pronounce, but one that I can definitely pronounce and we have definitely all heard of, it is Nate for Zedor and Kizix. They have been picked up. Nate has picked up both of the cards and has rezzed them because Forzer and Kizix, they both went down. So, you know, Nate doing a good job there to pick his teammates back up, revive them, and they are definitely a big player. They are definitely one of the trios that need to be watched that could be making it to our third and final day tomorrow. as Exi now will tag up a player just trying to swim on in. They have lost EU Boga, but not enough, as now Drizzy, he is just going to spam into builds with this P90, trying to just do a little bit of damage, trying to just annoy Lawless, Ranjo, and Demon XXR, as, you know, there's not really much going on here. Again, everybody's just playing passive. Nobody has to rotate. Everybody's already in the zone. They're already in decent enough positions. So we're just going to see people taking pop shots at each other for the next, you know, I'd say about 30 seconds, maybe to a minute. Then we're going to see people rotating. Then we're going to see some knocks coming in. But for now, you know, it's just going to be all quiet on the battlefield for the time being.
Again, all these members all stacked up towards the high ground as well. All of them realize that this will become an altitude game, especially by Cracky Cliffs, and with a zone that has the potential to move over from cliff to cliff, it means that mats are going to be the most important resource here. Ammo won't mean squat if you are shooting upwards through foundations. For the time being, Drizzy, they'll try and catch out some of these members here, again, trying to edit his way on through, just to build a little peak hole that he can fight his way around, but for the most part, nothing comes his way. Instead, he'll continue his edits. He'll try and spam through with his P90, trying to get up close and personal with these teams, and well, as he attempts to do so, a few shots ring out either way. He'll eat a shotgun for his woes, so continue to make his way on forward again, falling low on HP. He'll continue, starting to edit now, putting down another one as well, giving him a chance to just heal up and recuperate. Time being, his teammates will support him, preventing too optimistic of a push from his opponents, as, again, that zone slowly closes in.
Absolutely, still 25 seconds until it even moves. Did I just hear him get that knock? He did. That is filthy on every standard. Hopefully, we have the intel replay of that one. My word, K-Tessie. Huge shot from him, and that will allow themselves to pick up an extra 5 points in their pockets. That was filthy. But as we continue on forward now, you see the zone will continue to move in. Teams will be forced closer together. And you're seeing on the right-hand side of this new circle, everyone is bunched up so close together. If there was any form of nuke, most certainly if it was deployed here, you'd find yourself with many, many kills, because it seems to be around 80% of the lobby is probably stacked around this right side. Admittedly, there are a fair few people on the other side as well, but this cluster of people could cause serious problems. And now it's all about waiting the time out. Chug Splash is going to be used across the board. K-Tessie and his team just using this height to their advantage. And while we've got this moment of silence, may I remind everyone in the Twitch chat right now that although the Pringles giveaway is well and truly over, you still have an opportunity to enter the giveaway for the Razer Viper mouse. Drop exclamation mark ticket in the chat, excuse me. And at the end of Game 5, we'll announce our winner. And one of you lucky people will receive an awesome Razer Viper mouse.
And yeah, definitely get involved in that giveaway. You know, you don't want to miss out. You want to get your tickets in. Keep watching for the rest of the stream if you haven't already got enough points to purchase a ticket, because by the end of it, you definitely will be able to purchase a few. But for now, we're going to get back into the action. Fifth zone is going to begin to form, as EGXD is going to pick up 2 quick kills. For Zer will pick up a knock onto Rufus as well. As now Lawless, he has to try and get out of there because he's being put under a lot of pressure. Rufus is going to be taken care of. He is going to be taken down. Storm Surge warning has come in as well. Bassi only 90 above, so his trio will have to do a little bit of damage. Phillips, K-Tessa and himself now will have to get a move on, get up close and personal, as Lawless is doing, but it's going to cost him his life. He is going to be knocked. He is going to be taken down, but I believe will just survive. I believe he will just be res as his trio come in clutch. The rest of his trio have come in clutches. Now we see the Storm Surge come into fruition. We are going to lose one more player at least before the Storm Surge goes away, and it is going to be Curtis that goes down to it. He is going to be taken down. He is going to be taken out. We've got 19 trios left in the server, 50 players in the lobby. You know, this is going to get absolutely hectic now, as 40 seconds you need to move into this 5th zone. Further picking up the kill onto Piggy as well, as Phillips rotates in. He's going to be put under a little bit of pressure as he tries to tarp and tunnel his way on in. Going to drop out of that level as he was experiencing a bit too much pressure, as now he will just pop a mini and a big as well. He's happy enough. I believe his teammates are just beside him, and they are indeed. Another pot being dropped as well. Another pot being healed up because they're not under pressure for the time being. But I mean, look at this. Look at the amount of players that are boxed up, especially over there where Tomahawk, Onyx Wings, and Firehunter, they are all there. They are all going to have to move, I believe, as well. So, you know, this is going to get absolutely crazy. People are going to have to build up. They're going to have to get a move on and get on moving as this zone will begin to move in around 10 seconds.
Yeah, and once that zone starts moving, everyone is just going to... Well, it's going to be a complete and utter panic and chaos amongst everyone. Of course, we've got Tomahawk here again, trying to do a bit of early damage down towards these members, get his team not a single elimination to their name for the time being. So, as of right now, if they want points, then they're going to have to go for that placement, or we're going to need to see a lot of damage come out from them again. They're below that storm threshold. With that spam, though, they do go above as the next surge comes in, and as that zone moves, I reckon we're going to see that damage threshold not even matter. There's no way the surge gets into effect simply because of how many people are fighting each other all at once at the moment. Tomahawk is forced to drop on down. He'll make his way through the bowels of these builds. For the most part, though, going to be a swift push as his teams around him all try to outmaneuver one another.
Yeah, going to try and use the big pot to the best of his abilities. Will do so. Chug Splash to get back up to full. And now it's up to him and his team to get through this zone and to the new one. Of course, as you mentioned, I don't think there's any way that this Storm Surge comes into effect. It might just, but it'll only be momentarily, as we still have 38 people across the server. I do believe it's 30 for this zone. So we'll have to lose another 7. And so it might be very, very possible as there's another 55 seconds. And now this is the opportunity for everyone to strike. Vertex Dusek is going to be moving on through. He's in the bounce pad to get across to the other side, helping his team. And the Storm Surge goes active. 6 more players need to drop, and now it's just 5. As yet another player eliminated from the server. It's Jendori, actually, that's fallen. And it's going to be Tomahawk to take another kill. Percolino alongside him. This duo is going to have to do some serious work. And, oh, it's lovely from Tomahawk. Big damage done. He doesn't take much in response. He'll drop on down, and it'll be his teammate Percolino to pick up the pieces and find themselves a quick kill. He spots the big pots there. He's actually picked up 3. That's a huge amount, and he's only taken 10 health for it. So he's going to move on forward towards this new zone. 27 players. My word, is this zone very, very packed, considering the amount of players still here.
Yeah, 26 players now left in the servers. Onyx Wings is going to be taken out. We are down to 10 trios as Tomahawk gets in a box here, doing a lot of damage, but he's receiving a lot as well. Needs to be careful, and he's going to be knocked here. Scalar is going to pick up the knock, but I believe he's going to go down. As now we move over to the POV of Duzek, who spots players down below and takes a few shots. But now just going to apply a little bit of pressure to the builds. Nox going left, right, and center. Tomahawk is going to fall in the storm eventually. Nate picking up a kill onto Lunaf as well. As Jojo and Dujek are the 2 remaining players as Fish Falco falls. As now Jojo, he has a look down below. I believe he spots out Grizzly Nate there as well, but it's not Milan, Vortex, and Washed Ways up on the high ground, and they have 4 kills already. They'll be looking to add to this tally here as the 9th zone begins to move on in. Wise will pick up an op Molotov, getting a full kill there as well. As not Milan, he only has a few AR bullets. I believe he only has around 40, so he needs to be careful, he needs to be accurate, and he needs to try and pick some up if at all possible off the builds. We might see him drop down below just to take a fight, but it looks like Vortex is going to build up and maybe drop him some, as now they kind of calm down for the time being. There's 10 players left, but 4 trios, so interesting to see who is going to come out on top. I believe Keysix, Nate, and Forza, they're all still alive down there as Vortex tries to drop on down and get a knock. It's going to be Forza to go down. Lawless falls as well. Vortex now hitting a nice shot there, but he's been shot in the back here. He's going to be knocked. Grizzly Nate will take him down, but he is going to be eliminated, and it's going to be not Milan, Washed Ways, and TCE Vortexia that are going to take the victory. It's going to be an 8-kill win, and knocking out Nate. Well, not knocking out, but eliminating them in the final zone as well.
Without a doubt, it was a close game. However, they were able to come through and triumph again. Really, really close, but nonetheless, they came out on top again. But now we take a look at our intel moments. Ryan, we'll take it away.
Look at that shot. Unbelievable distance on that. Very well played. And this is the point. I think this is our 5th or 6th zone. By the looks of things, it was the 5th. And there were so many people just cramped together. This shot from Tohash, I didn't see how that hit. He placed the wall and somehow his shells beat him to the punch. The stairs just did not matter. And at this point, Tohash, very nice shot. Slipping on down to the low ground as well. And it was, in fact, his teammate Percolino to pick up the pieces. Tohash finally going down, but already too little too late as they picked up 3 kills. Plus those points for placement. And Jojo here, this was a huge engagement for him to take. Did big amounts of damage. And Zarya, the king, fortunately was able to take him down, but huge damage done. And here you see the eventual winners just applying pressure from the height. You see Nate down below, really the carry for that trio in this game, and they were just beaten by this P90 single-handedly as Vortexia drops one. The shotgun, huge damage done with the AR, and in the end it was as simple as letting time run down. They were able to pick themselves up with a lovely victory royale, and of course that's 70 points to their name before you even take into the fact that they got, I think, 5 kills that game, 6 kills that game. I might be mistaken. It's you know, it's a very good, it's a big W from them, and they can continue to move on forward with that, and that's definitely going to propel them up in the scoreboard.
Yeah, 100%. I think they finished on with around 8 kills. So
there you go,
yeah, it's huge points. It's definitely gonna skyrocket them up in the leaderboard. But that is it for game number 2. Coming up after this short break, we are gonna have game number 3. The action is gonna be here.
Hello, hello, hello. Sorry, for a second I forgot I'm the one who starts it. Yeah, welcome back to the Razer Invitational Europe. Again, we're about to start our third game of 5. Again, the first 2 games, very close, very exciting. Again, we've seen this sort of trend where once the initial POIs are controlled, we do have a massive lull for until about zone 6 or 7, where everyone just is forced to fight one another due to the surges, and all hell breaks loose. However, until then, it is a bit of a lull, and well, from there, it is just constant fighting from start to finish. For the time being, though, we're able to get straight into this game, though, as a quick and early drop from these members. Again, a full lobby, so without further ado, let's get into this.
Absolutely, our third game underway, ladies and gentlemen. If you've just tuned in, you've missed the action, but it doesn't stop there. As Peter said, we've still got 2 more games after this one, so 3 games all in all. And now, this is going to shape up to be a very important one for those in the top 33 to retain their place. And for those that aren't quite there just yet, most certainly will be looking to try and make their way through from the top 500 teams to the top 33 teams. And that is a huge jump. I call it crunch time. If you've been here week in, week out, you'll know exactly how crucial this sort of scenario is. You cannot mess up in every game. You've got to show consistency. Even if it's consistency within kills and not a great placement, that is consistency that could earn you a place into day 3. And of course, that's what everyone wants for that €6,600 prize. Everything's up for grabs, and for the majority of these teams, they're looking to simply hide and cower and wait until they find themselves with enough points that where they rush in, they're going to be covered by the placements.
And yeah, we're just going to see, you know, a few early engagements being brought out here. We're actually going to see a few kills coming in as well. We've already lost 1 trio and 8 players. Maybe make that 9 as Havry will go down. Phoenix, now we're going to jump into his POV. Miro getting the kill onto Maxi just after Maxi knocks Swatsy, I believe. But now we are just going to see, we've lost 10 players. Sweaty Sands, not as contested as we've seen it over the past few days. But Holly Hedges is as hectic as ever. Senzi, Ranamon, and Omar, they're here. There's a few more trios around them that they could take early engagements with. We've lost 2 trios all in all. Now, as I just have a look at the top left-hand corner of your screen, Vettel getting a knock as well. But Holly Hedges, it's actually kind of quiet considering how many teams are in and around this area. As Omar has a look, just tries to find an opening onto maybe the Kid Haroy, as Ollie and Uzumaki, I think it's Uzumaki, get up on top of that yellow house and then have a look on over there. Very aware that they are being watched and they don't want to be caught out in the open. But you know, a kind of quiet start here, as now Stronamon now will begin to move on up and maybe apply a bit of pressure. He has that petrol can as well that he can throw into a build and cause a little bit of havoc, but he's taking a lot of damage here and he needs to be careful. Switching onto the petrol can now. He's going to try and shoot it. It is underneath a build there. I believe he's done a little bit of damage to it, maybe. As now we are going to see what is going to happen. Everybody just built up. Ollie and his team, they are kind of trapped here for the time being. They have to just try and build because there's a player above them, there's a player behind them, and there's a player in front of them. And the spam comes on through from Stronamon, doing lots of damage. Ollie kind of needs some help from his teammates here, but he's not going to get it for the time being. They're just going to try and box up. They're not coming out of this box for love nor money. They are just going to try and hold on and hope for the best, but I don't think it's the right play. They're going to have to take a fight, and they're going to have to take it soon.
Again, these players at the ready. And again, for the most part, there's going to be Oki. He's making his way on up. He's taking a fair bit of damage. And this little fight in Dirty Docks is getting a bit out of hand simply because you want your early to fight to be clean and one-sided. You want to be able to get the element of surprise. It means you don't have to drain the limited resources you already have. However, if you're constantly having to heal and shield back up, then it negates the amount of resources you actually gain from the Dirty Dog, because you've only got half the loot, the other team has half the loot. If you both fight each other, then you drain it already. You've got nothing left to loot or use. So for the time being, Oki's, he's going to want this fight to be over fast. He hears there's people around him, but he's unable to catch them out. He doesn't quite spot where they are. We'll look elsewhere over to Pink. I don't know if they say, unless it's Pink here, in which case I apologise. He's going to be spammed down early on. Again, he'll take a substantial amount of damage. He backs away, back down to the control room. It's the player who shot him, Deltra. Why don't you just back away, having outmaneuvered him instead? El Songa will be able to down him. A shotgun shot straight to his face. He'll be finished. And for now, AOS put back again and bringing out a few shots wherever possible. Vangram, his target. Few shots here and there. He's got Oki's as well to support him as he go back to his fight over on Dirty Docks. It's nothing extreme. As for the time being, he doesn't want to push up. Instead, he wants to continue peppering this player with shots to cover his team as they look to work their way up.
Yeah, absolutely. As you mentioned, these early engagements can be very costly to the materials. You see Bubak comfortably sitting around 90 builds now. But on the flip side, I remember looking, I think it was Okies, at the start of that fight, had one build. And that is a costly, costly factor. Someone breaks 2 walls, well, you best believe that the place that you're at is going to get shot. As Shiny gets dropped to the low ground, Bubak going to try and apply pressure from above. Is swiftly running out of rifle ammo and instead will be forced to run through with the SMG and that lever shotgun. So everything on the line right now as they continue to move on through. Just a matter of time until we see one team fall, and that team obviously will have the early exit, and that means therefore that they won't get many points for this game, and that is the most costly factor about it all, because every game matters. And now Bubak going to take the height, just wants to make sure it's all clear before supporting his teammates from below, and so they avoid the possibility of a flank. He spots purple on the ground. It's a heavy assault rifle. He'll be happy to pick that up. It's in his hands. It's firmly in his grasp. And now it's time to wreak havoc with it as he continues to aggress. There's no care for the opposition. He's just simply going to continue to hold that W key and try and find him and his team on the scoreboard. An all-important start for them it would be. But fortunately for everyone, I think, they were able to disengage completely.
Yeah, 72 players left in the server. We haven't really seen too much, and actually it's going to go up to 73. Somebody is going to be rebooted. We're going to have a quick look at the map. There's not too much going on here at all, really. There's some pop shots, you know, coming in here and there. Everybody's pretty spread out. The only really team that are on top of each other is down the southwest, that orange team, and that white team down there. They are pretty much on top of each other, and there is going to be a knock in that exchange as well. As now we see people are going to have to keep moving in. The storm is continuing to close on in. Dirty Docks is a little bit contested as well. The Kid Haroy, Uzumaki, they are going to be taken out, and I believe that trio is going to be eliminated, if I am not mistaken. But now we move on out, and it's FYRD, Dazit, and Saxy, who are just going to go into Salty Towers if they can. Oki's going to be knocked. Bubka is going to finally pick up that kill. Dadal, who we've seen a good bit of yesterday, I believe Dadal, he had a pretty good 1v3 if I'm not mistaken. He was very, very impressive yesterday. He'll be hoping for more of the same as well. But for now, a lull in the server. You know, not much we can really talk about. Not much fighting going on. Not too many people, you know, WKing for the time being. So for now, we're just going to have to wait until the zone moves in and everybody pushes in towards each other.
Do you remember a couple of streams ago when we had someone get annoyed at us because we kept saying the quiet before the storm? You know what? I don't think we said it once. I don't think we said it once again. So I'm proud of you boys. Proud of you. I feel like now we're all going to keep saying breath before the plunge a good 40, 50 times until we end up switching back. But for the time being, we've done a good job, boys. Just proud of you. Proud of you.
Just a little side note there.
Yeah.
The synonyms are coming out here. I just thought, you know, a lot of this is still negativity. I thought we'd just fill it with some positivity. Okay, keep guys upbeat. I'm just proud of you. Proud of you.
Yeah.
No worries.
Woo!
For the time, yeah, we got a mass rotation of everybody. No one's near each other. Like we haven't got to come out for a while. This is what we call in the industry filler content.
Yeah.
For the time being, it's going to be Chrono, Joy, and Co. up towards Craggy Cliffs again. Because there's no one there, they won their initial fight and or sort off anyone else who dropped there. They've got free reign over any loot around them. But elsewhere, the Salty Towers now, this is where we're going to see some combat. 3 or 4 teams, all of which encroach on one another's territory, should trigger a bit of a mass kind of fight here for the time being. Unless, of course, they all take a kind of gentleman's agreement to reposition and get somewhere more comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. You're looking right now at a trio that's caught in the middle of it. Senzi and, of course, his team, Oma and Stronemont. They are caught in quite literally the middle of it all. Luckily for them, they are able to disengage and just simply move away. I don't know where their third teammate is, though. I have no clue. I'm having a look around. I don't see him. So, that's interesting. But look, the more important factor is we've burnt through a third of our lobby. You look right now at the middle of the map. But as I was mentioning, we've burnt through a third of our lobby. And we're around at that first zone moving into the second. And so, or rather the first zone moving into the second. And so, this is quite a quick game for us. I feel like this is the quickest of them all so far, and obviously, as we know, they will quicken up over time. Teams getting more desperate, they want to find more kills, and that leads to more death, of course. And so, this will be our middle point. We'll have to wait and see how things develop, as for the time being, Miro is going to be applying pressure with that green tack, looking to do some early damage through the gate, but unfortunately, it's going to be the pistol, actually, to find the mark instead, as he does drop one, in fact, by their teammates' help, and now they can look to aggress from every angle, and he's been eliminated. Everyone looks happy, especially if you're in the team of Miro, as they've just picked up their first kill of the game.
And yeah, picking up their first kill of the game, a good time to get it, a good time to pick up a few nice bits of loot off the corpses that they have just laid out on the ground, as now Absi is just going to build up on top of the height here, as Miro now might try and build up towards him, might try and get involved with him, but it looks like Absi is going to be pushed. Somebody is going to get into his box, and he's going to try and get back out, but Miro and Snasty and Swasty, they are going to find the kills. They're already on 6, so, you know, pretty good. Miro going to take a small bit of fall damage, going to get into the sand and begin to rotate on out. But 11 trios have been eliminated, and we are just under 2/3 of the server. But Miro and his trio, they've already racked up 30 points, so if they can get a decent enough position, you know, a decent enough placement, which they are well capable of doing, as we've seen them, you know, throughout these tournaments do time and time again, they could definitely be in with a shout of making it to our third and final day. Of course, the top 33 trios will be advancing to that stage. But for now, we are back just looking at the map, seeing where everyone is, and again, everybody is spread out, everybody keeping their distance, the social distancing, of course, in place, not only in real life, but also in the server, as Omar will be eliminated. And it looks like Chrono Joy, somebody left the handbrake up, and the car is going to roll out of their box. So, not the ideal situation for them, but I presume they will get over it.
Did you drive, Jack?
Drive you mad, but that's about it, I'd say.
Yeah, well, I'm up the walls, frankly.
Yeah.
I was going to ask if you ever left the handbrake off, but I suppose that doesn't really. Does our producer drive? Pepito, do you drive? We didn't hear a word from Pepito. Oh, well, I was going to ask if he ever left the handbrake off. I haven't, glad to say. But again, a few shots go out either way. He's so gang. Take a bit of early damage. Quite a nice snipe shot from someone on the opposite building. He's able to outmed it, though. As the time being, we head over to Queez, who's able to single-handedly wipe out a squad. All 3 kills going in his favor there, as it will be a chance to just loot up inside that box and, well, have a moment to enjoy the peace of mind they've gained with that. So gang as well, trying to catch out these members as they rotate away from the zone. Sniper in hand, trying to do the odd bit of damage wherever possible. Not quite spotting them, but he's getting... Oh, nobody does. What? He takes down Vertex Shift. Again, he was getting bloody close, but I didn't realize he was getting that close. Great shot by him now, and with that, his team is going to start pushing forward.
Absolutely. W key engaged. They're simply not going to let go of it at this point. They know that they've got the HP advantage, the gun advantage, the weaponry advantage, everything they've got in their hands now, and it's just a matter of time. Can they do it? They've taken the wall, and now this is where the pressure will continue to be applied. This team really caught in a bad place, and Sogang most certainly trying to make it work, and in fact does find one boxed up, but it's now a matter of time, because on low HP he has to disengage, and LSK I think has actually been dropped. In fact, he's picked himself up one, even a second, and by the looks of things they're going to swiftly look to pick up their third. Very well played from this team, as they'll find themselves a quick triple, 3 kills in their pockets, and they'll continue to move on through. Seems like it's very silent though across the map as teams continue to rotate, continue to find their way towards this new zone, and of course it's earned us a well-earned break from the action for the time being.
And yeah, well-earned break, and that's just the danger that happens when, you know, we have teams running these snipers. You know, if you take a shot and you go down, you're going to get pushed. There's no doubt about it that they're just going to W key towards you, and it worked out in Helso's favor. You know, he hit the shot, He went, applied the pressure, made sure they couldn't get the res off. His trio was close behind him. They picked up 2 more kills, and that's an easy 15 points for them. They picked them up, and then they advance on to the next part of their game, which is going to be rotating into the 3rd zone. And with 58 players left, they might be able to pick up a few more kills. And especially, you know, if he's hitting snipe shots like that, you know, you'd be expecting him to hit maybe 1 or 2 more, not maybe full kills, but maybe just doing a little bit of damage to somebody to make them, you know, regret peeking or something like that. But for now, we have a look, and I mean, look at the amount of arrows here towards Carl Castle on this piece of land. You know, there are so many trios here. I believe, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, over 10 nearly in, you know, nearly 10 people boxed up in the same area. It's absolutely ridiculous. People are going to be moving on in as well, of course, so it's going to get even more hectic. But, you know, we're definitely going to see some heavy engagements in the next while, as now we see, for the time being, everybody is just happy. And I mean, look at all the names scattered around there. It is absolutely ridiculous. So I would be very, very surprised if we don't see some action, or indeed somebody being held trying to rotate in this next circle.
I think Peter's dead, maybe. So we'll continue for the time being. As for now, the Coral Castle most certainly populated with players, as Kangi gonna fire off a shot with that blue sniper. Unfortunately, nothing will connect. They're simply trying to post up. They are in this new zone ever so slightly, and so for them, it's as easy as holding on. They're just going to try and pressure everyone else away from this angle. They see a fair few people to their left and to their right. That could have been an easy spot. Unfortunately, they do have a gas canister they're going to throw right in that direction, apply the pressure with the rifles, and now they're going to just continue to spam on through. Substantial damage, unsuccessful, but most certainly whittling down the very important materials. And in fact, it's led to Saxy dropping, and it's even left to Fear dropping as well. Jaseth, the last man left, and in fact, they're just going to pick the enemies up, drag them back into their home, and simply aggress elsewhere. Very well played. And as we wait for 30 seconds until this 4th zone starts to collapse, there are still 48 players within this server.
Again, I do apologise for that. I had a few technical issues on my end involving a abuse of a button on my interface, which may have muted everything accidentally, but it's okay. I was actually wondering when Jack would throw it to me, but no, he actually already had. Again, it's going to go. This zone coming on in a couple of seconds now as it descends forward, and for the most part, almost this entire lobby is confined to this northeast corner. Again, every single one just stacked up against one another, and we look how sparsely populated this zone is. Every single team is over towards this single shoreline. Every single team. And this mass it's almost like an apartment block, really, with that many people in it for the time being. Again, any second now, we're going to see this city light up. As for the time being, these players stack up with one another. Every single one ready to burst on through, shotguns in hand. We look at Kangi now, one of those leading the charge. As well, he hears players down above him, all of which raining havoc down onto one another. Again, looking for that edit lead to shut down these members, and with a new storm shrinking on in, that is going to cause havoc. It's going to cause mayhem amongst these players. Anyone who dare go into that water is signing themselves off on a death wish. We take a look now. Again, it's spam either way. Shadoxy trying to do just that. Again, this 5th zone, this will decide absolutely everything.
As the zone continues to move on in, the storm are shrinking once more. Players just going to try and whittle down the materials of everyone else. Of course, that exchange ammo for materials is the most important factor. You can run out of ammo, you switch to a different ammo, but of course, when you burn through materials, you can't exactly switch out. You can't exactly just, you know, you find more materials on the floor. You have to then go on the aggression, go on the prowl, try to find someone, and unfortunately, that's going to be a daunting task ahead. But for everyone right now, they're going to have to look towards this new zone, try and rotate on through. And for the majority of these teams, it's going to be a very bog standard process. But for some, this is going to be a daunting task, and most certainly going to have an interesting one ahead of them.
And yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see, you know, the rotations coming in here. Who is going to be held in the zone? As now we're going to see Juice and his trio use that bounce pad just to go on in. And of course, the water is here to make the rotation a little bit easier as well. Of course, you are open to a lot of shots. So if there's players already boxed up in the zone, they can just take free shots at you. And if they're any good, they will hit them. And you will be knocked, as Miro has found out. Kangi will take him down, but Kangi is going to get knocked himself. Snasty, Miro's teammate, just going to refrag it. As now we are gonna see everybody just boxed up for the time being. As now Helso Gang, he hit that insane snipe, but iDrop is gonna drop him. As now Artox having a look through his build, seeing what he can find, seeing if he can spot anyone out. You see Sketchy, I believe, tickled his fancy a little bit, but just managed to build away from. As now Artox, he's still just having a look, seeing if he can spot anyone out in the open, see if he can punish anyone rotating. Of course, now everybody is in the zone. As we see what is gonna happen, we see, you know, 10 seconds left in the zone. Stronamon is gonna be finished off. Kurd gonna be picking up that one, as Cody Elska waiting. And now we wait. Everybody seems quiet enough in the server. Nobody really does anything too much. And now, you know, there's not much going on. Everybody's just going to try and rotate in. Maybe somebody's going to get held. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. As I just see Kremer bringing up my ego a little bit there. Peter, my ego is a little bit hurt about that one. Not gonna lie.
I mean, I think Ryan just referred to us as fairly well known, which I suggest you know,
I would argue Snow Sweet Snow is a fairly big tournament. We've worked on other tournaments as well. It's not our first rodeo as a
this is our first rodeo.
No, exactly. That's my point.
It's our first rodeo as trios.
Yes, I think this is
Duos,
the first. Yeah.
We all worked together before.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I'm on a chat call now, but essentially we all work for the same subcontractor and just came from there. Literally it. What I found in esports is that it's who you know, not what you know. But the topic of what you know, these players, they know how to aim. But for the time being, this zone, it does move on past. It's going to be a couple of shots ring out either way. Players taking a substantial amount of damage as Flame Swasty will try to stay alive despite the shots ringing out from above him. And now Capachow as well, taking damage from below as best player Thomas does just that. Sky from the screen is going to be pushing on forward, shotgun in handling to get up close and personal with these players. He pushes on forward. Again, he's got best player Thomas do the exact same thing. It's an early knock, takes down M4 Fear. Again, he'll try and pressure down Queez as well. The last man of standing of that group of Sky. He's just going to be wandering around the roof essentially of the structure, trying to catch out members, trying to maybe steal a kill if he can, and he may have done just that onto Burrick. As the Storm Surge becomes active, these players who haven't got enough damage are going to slowly start being struck down. The players need to watch out as the zone continues on moving. Sky looking for players to fight. With only 75 bullets left in his Scar as well, he is going to have to rely on that shotgun. Henson trying to get up close and personal, and only saving it for wooden structures.
As now we head into the final 30, the top 30, and this is where placement points will start to roll in. Teams are going to drop like nothing, and that in turn will mean your points will start to skyrocket if you can hold on for the later stages. For Skeeve and his team, this height is going to be paramount to that of anyone else's utility. These guys can apply the pressure, do whatever. To be fair, Skeeve only had 3 rounds in his rifle, but most importantly is that they have this height, because of course it can be manageable. The ammo, you can drop down, kill a man, pick the ammo back up off of them, and then continue on forward. But, you know, this height isn't as easy as that to regain. And so this team, they know at this point they can have limited ammo. They can try and pick their fights where possible. And then with that, they can continue to aggress. Sketchy dropped to 46 points of health, but the rest of his team thriving on a full 200, actually getting dropped. And it's going to be Kangi to try and pick up the pieces. And unfortunately, he won't even be able to allow the full finish. He'll be dropped. And in fact, Daddle going to find himself a kill. Throw his body around like nothing. Drop 14, going to fall. And now we enter our top 16. From when I started talking, the lobby has halved in size. And that just gives you an idea of exactly how this goes down. Sebi on the height now. Legendary shotgun. The blue SMG as well in hand, as he'll be applying as much pressure as possible, doing damage to structures in every way he can. But the height has been challenged, but he's landed a nasty shot. I think it was 130 actually, as he continues to charge it. Unfortunately, it is gonna be Ardit that finds the knock. and Skive, the last man remaining within this. And so now we enter our top 12 players, 5 teams, and it's quickly declining. Jack, take it away.
Yeah, we see Daddle, Scalar, and Bubak now. We saw them yesterday. We're seeing them now on the low ground. The Skive is going to be eliminated. It's going to be Queasy picking up that one. Le Pizza and Le Arde, they're up on the high ground, and they are going to try and rain down bullets down below. Scalar on the ultimate low ground, picking up one more kill. It's going to be Putis going to be taken down, but Joni, he's taking down Scalar. Le Pizza being challenged a little bit. A nice charge shotgun shot in the back, taking Quasar down to a very low HP as a choke splash is going to be thrown, as the doll is going to use the small fry to try and heal up a little bit, just trying to out heal the storm. They're not quite floppers, but they still do little bits of healing. Le Pizza up on the high ground, just going to tarp on in, looking for a charge shotgun shot down below if he can. There's 5 players remaining. A nice shot. He's going to get a refresh there as well, looking in the storm to see if he can find any floppers. Bubak is going to be taken care of. Pizza is going to be taken down. A flopper picked up by the doll, as he is still alive, but Arda, he's still in the storm, and he's going to win this. I believe he has 2 more. No, actually, more fish have been picked up. Where is he finding all these fish? I have no idea. This is going to be ridiculously close, as there still has choke splashes as well. Oh my, I think it is going to be Arda just to take it, unless he can find more healing magically. But now it turns into a fight here, as Arda just manages to build out. The doll is going to be taken care of, as Le Arde, Le Pizza, and Artox, they're going to take the victory. It's going to be a 15 kill win, and I've never seen anything like that. A double heal off. It was absolutely ridiculous. That went on for so long as well. Oh my, what a game.
That was the closest game I think we've seen on the Razer Invitational so far, and just by the gracings of whatever deity he was praying to, he was able to find the extra healing. Of course, take a look at our intel moments, and again, it was just a massive gunfight for this 6th zone. Again, as it moved in, everyone just kept fighting. We look at Skive here again, wreaking out havoc, although anyone who would be able to kind of catch out as well, like a snake above a fox's hole. Anytime something peeks on up, he's just straight in there, striking with that AR. Again, players got out in the ocean, finished off by Daddle and Co here again. Just easy kills. They finished the job quickly, able to get those mats as well, which kept them alive and fighting. Yeah, another team here, another swift pickup, and his whole team there, ruthless, to say the least.
Yeah, Daddle, this aggression is unrelenting as he's able to find more and more, and this heal off, it was unreal. Le Pizza got very, very lucky with the amount of heals that he found in the later stages. You see now, this was a time in which he was basically at nothing. Kills a man, able to get the heals. At this point, he struggled, he got knocked, and then it was all down to La'Ardet, the only man to have these hills. Daddle, unfortunately, and this is the snipe that could have ended it all. Had he have hit this, it would have done 105. Admittedly, it wouldn't have ticked much for his health. He had a full shield, but that really could have turned the tide. Arctic maybe, you know, not as invested in healing at that point, more invested in trying to take the engagement to ensure that the other player doesn't win the game. Unfortunately for him, he just narrowly missed, and that meant that they were able to pick up the victory royale in game number 3. But of course, the action doesn't stop. We've got 2 more games lined up ahead of us. We're going to throw it to a quick commercial, but when we're back with the penultimate game of the day.
Hello, hello, and welcome back to yet another game of the Razer Invitational Cup 5. Again, in this elimination stage, we are entering our penultimate game of this day, and, well, it looks like it will be a fairly even disbursement of players, apart from towards that southwestern side, in which we see a fair few teams all get ready to engage amongst either the woods or the swamp.
As now we look, as you mentioned, our penultimate game, 91 players in the server. It seems to be we've had some early exits or some people that didn't want to turn up, which sucks. But at the same time, I get their frustration. But at least stick out the game. Come on, guys. At least stick it out. Have two more games. Try and ruin other people. You know, have some fun with it all. But for the time being, we're watching Mortel right now, just on the south side of the sand. He'll be looting up swiftly and on his own, in fact, because there's no one around and not even his teammates in sight, as they'll look to continue to farm. It's Michael Jesus, though, at Salty Towers, who's looking to make a statement for him and his team. We haven't seen this team yet on stream. Ever, I think. So this is a first for them, and of course a first for us. And we'll have to wait and see if they can live up to the expectations. Of course, making second day is not an easy task, but it's not the hardest of tasks. So now it's their chance to exceed and to excel in what they do. And now they have to do it well. Because, of course, as we mentioned, the top 33 teams make it through to the final day, excuse me. And that therefore means that we're going to lose 467 trios today, and that's a huge amount of teams. That's a very small fraction of teams that make it through, and so it is a fight for survival here in this fourth game of the second day.
As we just have a look, we're going to see 97 Genius. He's going to be knocked, and I believe his teammate Faisal is going to be knocked as well. Loki going to be knocked and finished off, as Vagram will pick up a kill. Zeston fired off a shot there. Actually, Scout is going to take a little bit of damage there as well. He's about 10 HP. He needs to be really careful. We've already lost 3 trios. And Ryan, you touched on it earlier, you know, after seeing the first 3 games, it was really, really slow. The first game was the slowest of them all. We've seen a storm surge after the first circle, which was absolutely insane. Now, once we get to these later stages, of course, this is the penultimate game, we're going to see people be desperate. We're going to see people, you know, speed it up, as they will take a lot of damage, Kong hitting his shots. But, you know, people are going to try and get as many kills as possible, because if they don't, they will just be going out of this tournament. So they need to get a move on, they need to apply pressure, and they need to try and ruin people's games, because that's what they're out to do. They need to get the points, they need to, you know, come out on top. And as we see already, we're down to 73 players. I know this is a little bit of a lesser lobby than we're used to today, but still, we're down to 71 players already, and it's only been a few minutes. The first zone hasn't even started moving yet, as we see Kong now trying to apply some pressure down below. He won't be able to spot anything just yet. Zota, I believe, he's just going to try and build away if he can. And now, yeah, look, down to 63 players, 62 in fact. This is absolutely ridiculous. The pace being set by these players in this game is already, and I think maybe this could be like a 25-minute game if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, we could be moving on to game 5 quicker than we thought.
Without a doubt, we take a look at the map, and there's so many players who have fallen instantly. Look at those over at Coral Castle. There is no one within a good, you know, 2 POI radius who's there to fight them. They're going to be so looted, and because they're so close to that zone as well, they're going to be in a really comfortable position moving forward. We'll take a look at those at Cassie Corner as well. 63 players left standing. We've already lost 30, already 10 teams gone. This is really, really quick compared to our previous 3 games. For the time being, it's going to be Steery to try and do some damage wherever he can.
Yeah, and just to give everyone a little bit of insight into what we mean by a quick game, we had 62 players at the 5th storm on the first game, and it might even have been the 6th. And we're not even into the first storm starting to move, and we've already lost a third of our lobby. That is a monumental amount of players dropping. But of course, as time continues, we'll see more people drop on out. And right now, it's looking like Steery and his team that are going to make this plunge to the lobby, because Steery has no mats, he has no chances, and he's just taking huge amounts of fall damage as well. He's in a world full of hurt as he'll back away. Him and Helix, the only 2 men remaining, they are left to try and make everything happen on their side of the corner. In Catty Corner, they've got to try and fight for survival, and against 3 hungry predators above them, it most certainly will be the end for them. But looking at Demon Arna, he will be looking to try and help his team to victory. More people in the area that he's going to aggress upon, and in fact, he's going to take a few shots for himself. The AI just going to give him a little bit of a shot in the back. Unfortunately, that green AR doing wonders as he's able to pick up the kill. Fortunately, they will then be able to aggress and get their hands dirty in this gunfight, because by the looks of things, it seems to be a lot of players in this small area, and there can only be one winner.
There can only be one winner, as we see players being knocked. min-liang is down to AHP, and he needs to back away and try and heal. And, you know, surely it's well deserved. I'm a little bit disappointed and saddened that he turned around and killed Mancake there. I am so, you know, shocked. And he deserves to be down on AHP as he begins to build on through his way to the butter barn and tries to find some players, if at all possible. But he's under a lot of pressure. He managed to heal up for the time being, but I wonder for how long. Unreal now has grouped up with him, and now they begin to move on forward. There's another mini that Unreal can drop him. It won't make too much of a difference because he's so low HP anyway. He needs to just get really, really lucky as Unreal begins to be put under a lot of pressure. There's going to be a right-hand peek out. He's going to be taken down. min-liang is going to fall soon after. And that is going to be it for that trio. They are going to be out of the fourth game. They're going to have to try their luck in the fifth one. 50 players left as Lucas charges up that charged shotgun and tries to go for a shot. Gem's trying to get a right-hand peek onto Lucas and tries to maybe crack him with a shot. The zone is moving in as well, so it will begin to tick them for a little bit. But they will have to take this engagement before they move on out. As now we lose another player. 17 trios left as we have a quick look at the Storm. And what a hectic game so far.
Without a doubt. And for the most part, now that we've had a bit of a settle, there's two teams fighting in Misty Meadows and over towards the north side or south side of the desert above Winter's Haven. Other than that, there's essentially no other teams really who can fight. For the most part, this Meadows team, it looks like with Wolf Carmine being the last man left standing, he is just going to try and take a guy with him. I think he realizes he's accepted his fate, and he'll just wait for some players to come his way. But for the time being, he'll continue to take that residual damage, and with two players dead, he will just have to hold for the time being.
As now, it is going to be Wolf Carmine. Well, I was going to say he had a chance with the back turn, but it seems like all three players had some sort of knowledge that he was there, because they all turned within a heartbeat and swung and started firing those shotguns as they're caught in the zone. But it doesn't really matter all too much, because for the time being, it's only ticking for one, and therefore that means that they can continue to aggress gold. He's going to try and make his way on up, try and take the height away, but unfortunately he's getting gunned down right now. It's just a matter of time. He spots out your scene above him. The question is, will he hit any shots? He will, but nothing too substantial. His teammate is on low HP, and so is he. They're probably combined at around 200 right now, as it seems to be that the jigsaw puzzle is slowly being broken down for this side, and they will not be able to at least solve their problems in this one. And they've probably got one more game in it to try and hold them up, as Gold simply holding for time. He knows at this point he's dead, and in fact he's trying to make his way on through, and he does actually escape, so maybe not done just yet. As I say that though, Kong spots him out, and now it's going to be the third party brigade on in. This will be as easy as anything for this team to at least pick up gold, but the question is, will they find anything else?
Yeah, Kong, you know, just having a look, just picking up a few bits of weaponry and a few bits of healing as well as they begin to move on out. As actually, I believe Gold is the other side here, and he needs to be careful. He's going to be shot. He's going to be taken down. Kong is going to fully eliminate that trio. We are down to 15 in the server, as now I believe there's another team above them, Kong, and they've already picked up, I believe, 5 kills all in all. So that's 25 points for them before placement even comes into effect. And interestingly enough, I'm actually seeing 2 more Irish players in the lobby, Lolboom and Core. So they picked up one of the last kills. So it'd be interesting to see them. We haven't seen them actually play at all, really, in this Razer Invitational. But they've decided to join us for this 5th and second last event. I was about to say final event, but of course it is not the final event, because we do have another one coming up next week. So if indeed you got knocked out yesterday, or if indeed you missed it yesterday, make sure to go ahead and sign up over on razerinvitational.com. comp. As now we have a quick look at the Storm. There's a lot of players already in there, you know, but there's a lot of players still left to rotate in. And a few of those teams are Kiro, Jordy, and Centric Tint. As now from Genius, or from 97 Genius, we saw a lot of him yesterday. And he was very, very impressive with his trio. He might be caught out trying to sand tunnel, and that's exactly what's going to happen. And he needs for Graham to come back and apply a little bit of pressure onto Kiro, because Kiro now is going to try and get aggressive if he can. 97 Genius might just try and get back in his tunnel and move on forward. Indeed, he is going to do exactly that. Kiro tries to and snipe him, tries a little prediction snipe, seeing if he'd peek. He doesn't hit it, and he's going to back on away. 45 players left in the zone, 15 trios left in the server.
Again, it's not a very big game at the moment. Again, with so many early teams falling, means that this... We talk about how this kind of 2nd to 6th zone are empty anyway. Even more so now there's less members. It means that even space won't be an issue till about this kind of 5th, 6th zone, when it really is getting cramped and when it is starting to move. But now we'll have to see just how these teams fare as they do stack up, they do get ready, and they kind of pick a position and a waiting area as they just wait to see where the 3rd zone kind of directs them, and from there they'll try and gauge a 4th, etc, etc. Nonetheless, these teams do not want to fight one another, and that is becoming painfully obvious at the moment.
Yeah, things fall a bit silent across the server, as you mentioned. It is just going to be very much the quiet side of things, because everyone seems to have died in the early game. There's no real mid-game to this. Of course, we see a couple of kills here and there, but as you mentioned, even more so now, because there's less and less people, we're really not going to see all too much of that. But they build up towards this top left-hand corner of the map. And in fact, this might be a gunfight, because this team seem to want to take the engagement. But we're going to switch over to YV Charlie, who's currently sitting at Craggy Cliffs, sniper in hand, looking for something. Spots the people in the distance, can't really pull the trigger all too much. And at this point, everyone seems to be very, very passive. It's like they're hibernating from everyone else, and it might just be another engagement here. We'll have to wait and see. It is going to be Wavy that's going to try and apply some pressure, but everyone seems quite content on where they are right now.
Yeah, everybody seems quite happy. Everybody seems to just be boxed up, just, you know, having a look around, seeing it again, seeing if you can catch people out, see if you can catch people on the rotation, see if you can see anyone over peaking. As now Wavy Charlie is going to have to drop out of the build, as a bit of pressure is going to be applied for Graham. Going to knock down Taker. Sober going to edit out, and he hits a nice shotgun shot, and he's actually going to get the knock, as now that player will be eliminated. Sober does have a lot of healing. He's a lot of pots on him that he can use. And he's got to pop a few now. Cram and Charlie above now to apply a little bit of pressure, or indeed just to apply a little bit of cover. For Graham is in the storm for the time being, as he now is going to try and edit on out. Zenjash is going to be knocked and finished off by Endless Fray. As now for Graham builds on up, tries to go maybe for a charged shotgun shot. He's going to miss it, and he's taking a lot of damage. He's out of the storm though, so he'll stop taking for the moment, as he will get the knock onto Skydive, I believe, and Fezzle will fully eliminate him. It actually wasn't him, I believe. It was Fezzle that picked up the knock there as well. But for Graham, he does have a lot of pots available to him. He will be able to heal up if it is needed. A big pop being dropped over as well, but we're gonna switch over. Actually, no, we're not. We're gonna switch straight back. As for Graham, has been dropped over minis. Needs to be careful that he doesn't take any more storm damage. We've a little over a third of the server left, 33 players all in all, and this zone is pretty open. You know, there's not that many buildings, there's not that much natural cover. Of course, all these players will have plenty of materials, but you know, there's a few hills thrown in here and there. There's no buildings really to hide in for the time being, so this zone could get pretty interesting.
Without a doubt. And again, it's been such an aggressive lobby, and everyone wants to fight everyone, and it means that we have hardly any members left. It means space is a really big thing, and it means that every single one of these teams can just play the range game. It means these snipers actually have quite a heavy reliance for the time being. These M4s, again, even though it's great to spam down structures as best you can, the war of attrition doesn't really work out here when you can't pressure down someone once they lose that attrition. For now, it's going to be Zatarg, I think it's how you say it, and Code look up to that high ground and simply look over at Saladin Nikonine. What a name. As for now, he'll watch that team build. He'll try to get an angle on them, but again, they're both being very reserved. They both take their time, and for the time being, he'll hold on just a little bit longer.
You love that word, don't you? The war of attrition.
Well, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It does. It really does. But look.
It is. Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Wavy Charlie just giving Kiro 1k a swift haircut. Now is sent bald, and now the other side are sent hunting like piranhas as they jump into the ocean quite possibly. And instead they're going to play the smart game and retain the high ground. They know at this point they won that engagement. They're not going to try and re-engage. They're going to res their teammate and have to use even more healing on him. But my word, was that a shot and a half from Charlie. Filthy at that. But while we do have this moment of pause, may I remind you, all of those in the Twitch chat, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, go over to Twitch right now, get signed up if you haven't already, or log in, whichever of the two you need to do, and drop ! ticket in the chat. Because for every hour that you watch, you can get yourself a ticket, and every ticket is an extra entry at the end of the stream to win yourself a Razer Viper mouse. So, this is your opportunity. You want to win some awesome Razer peripherals, then now's your time. Now is your time. But for the time being, everyone seems very, very passive. With 35 players still in the server, it seems to be everyone is quite content, and Charlie hits another. That is disgusting. But as I said, everyone just playing very passive, not giving anything away. They're simply going to hold fire and wait for these new zones to move in.
I mean, Charlie's been absolutely ridiculous with this sniper. You know, he's been hitting some insane shots. I believe the res was got off on the last player, if I'm not mistaken. Kanda is gonna get a knock and get the kill on from 97. Genius. We've seen a lot of himself and his trio yesterday. They were very, very powerful. They were, you know, really moving in every game that we've seen. They were pretty much rolling everyone they got against Wavy Charlie. Having a look, having a snipe, as we have a lovely sunset in the background. Very calming. And I'm going to use it, Kramer. Don't hate me. The calm before the storm. Quite literally.
Oh, Jack.
Go mad in Twitch chat. I don't care anymore. But we are now waiting. The zone is going to begin to move on in. And people are going to begin to rotate. A lot of players already in. Candid, of course, is actually going to be knocked. But Graham is going to take him down and take him out of the server. As now 11 trios left. We see Core, Lolbim, and Gems just above Demon Obi and Demon Cock and Taker. As now we will just wait. This is only the 4th storm, remember, and we're already down to 33 players. This is, you know, the fastest lobby that we've seen so far. Tin is going to be knocked. He's not going to be taken down, as Sarah, Nats, and Pavlika, they're just going to sit in this bush as they are going to try and hide away for the time being. Jerdy going to be knocked, and 31 players left. 11 trios in the server. You know, it has to heat up. It has to. We have to lose a few more people. As Sarah is going to be sniped. Fezzle takes it down, and another player is going to be locked. Another snipe, but that was from a different team. I believe it was Kiro that got the knock. Or, excuse me, actually, it was Bersic that actually got the knock. Sarah is going to be fully eliminated, and last is going to be Pavlika, who is going to try and rotate out. Has the 0-point fish to maybe get away, but at what cost? They've lost 2 of their teammates, and they are down. We are down to, 10 trios left, 26 players left in the server, and Fezzle and Vigram, they're going to gobble up all them mats. And look at the amount of kills these guys are already on. 12 all in all, and they'll be looking to add to that tally, and I definitely back them to do so.
Without a doubt, again, they've done really, really well so far. And let's take a look over at Wavy Charlie and Co. Again, I hope that was a Apocalypse Now reference, because, you know, Charlie don't surf. For the time being, it's going to be Wavy Charlie to try and do a bit of damage wherever possible. Again, looking out for one of these members, and he does spot out some of them. He spots out HG Havlitka again. Of course, he had just watched his whole team get slaughtered, so not only does he probably have PTSD, but he also is going to be very, very alone, and he'll try to maybe rat his way to a placement rather than take straight 1 versus 3.
Yeah, absolutely, and here you go, more damage being applied, the high ground working wonders once again. As now, for the time being, I mean, everyone's just simply playing passive. They want to commit all too much. They're just simply going to use this time to rotate, you know, get boxed up, ready in this new zone, trying to have the ultimate hype, but at the same time, they don't want to pressure anything. They just want to sit here, play together, play smart, and just have the fun and enjoyment of playing the game. But looking across the map right now, 5 zones in, we're about to be at number 6, and with 26 players, the Storm, I mean, it's finally getting there. It's finally caught up to the amount of players within the server to be expected. But still, I feel like this is lacking a lot. At this point in time, we're looking at half the lobby still being alive. That circle would have been full with arrows. And now, well, it's not so much. Everyone seems to be quite content with holding the W key a little bit more and playing a little more recklessly in these scenarios. As for now, you've got 17 seconds until the 6th Storm moves. We'll have to wait and see how things develop.
And yeah, 10 trios left, 24 players in the server. Sunfar just doing a little bit of damage with his AR where he can. But the 6th zone is going to begin to move on in, and people are going to have to, you know, get a move on. They're going to have to, you know, keep tarping in. Try not take any damage. They might get hard focused here as Sunfar trying to use builds that are already there. He's down to 30 builds, so he's going to need to pick up a kill here because, you know, Mats is definitely going to be part of the equation. As now Endless Fray just going to heal up and begin to build on up and build on over. Going to use a bounce pad to get up close and personal. Decides to box up and just get onto a level above the team below. As now he isn't taking any fights for the time being, and we're actually not seeing too many fights taken. Demon Obby going to be knocked and going to be taken down. As now fight on the low ground. Zero is going to be knocked, and that's a full trio eliminated. Core picks up a knock. Pavlika will get a kill as well. Actually, Pavlika is going to go down. Core picking up another one as well. Siwo knocking somebody into the storm. And we are down to 7 trios left. The 6th Storm has just finished on moving in. Lolboom is going to be knocked. Core and Gems are going to have to try and clutch this one out. Akram is going to go down as well. It's absolutely hectic from here. Peter, I don't think it's going to slow down anytime soon.
Without a doubt, we got Corley to just dive in on the action as well after that jump pad again, boosting on forward. He's got teams to fight in there and realizing he's one of the last. He's only got 7 HP left. They're about to get swarmed, about to be caught out, but he can box in time by the gracings of some deity. He'll actually fight on 7 HP, come out on top nonetheless, getting another elimination now. He'll try to wall up for the time being and try to heal up, but I think he is going to be, well, I think his days are numbered at this point. He'll continue trying to push forward again. By some miracle, he's alive right now. The fact he survived this long is just incredible, as he'll shield on up, and well as shots continue to ring on from above, his opponents, they turn their attention away from him.
Yeah, now this is where the height is relentless. You see Bobo right now, not exactly with the best of height, but most certainly still applying so much pressure that it's impossible for these other teams to try and make their move. And with 35 seconds as the zone continues to move, it's the penultimate one, it's number 8 of 9. And it's just on the east side of Pleasant Park. And these players will now continue to move. Bobo, that's filthy.
Hello.
Hello indeed. He's actually going to take 30 fall damage. I mean, it's not quite the best, but most certainly that sniper shot was unreal. And Core, his last man of the trio, going to get gunned down. And he's going to pick up both of those kills. Very well played from him. His first 2 as well. As now they'll look to aggress on forward. 6 players, 3 teams. Things are getting mighty close right now. Bobo's continuing to apply pressure from above. Actually going to take another player from the server, and Bobo continues to find more. Already at 3, denied of 4 by Frey. He'll be eliminated swiftly. And look on the left-hand side right now. You're seeing a player with 8 kills. Michael Jesus is most certainly looking like some sort of god right now as he's on the high ground. But in fact, Frey out in the zone with 6 floppers. This is not looking too good, but I think he's pulled the trigger too early. I think he's realized this. He's going to have to use another flopper, another one in fact, and now he's down to 3. And so the heal off most certainly hasn't worked. There's still about 20 seconds, I think, until the zone closes. But Frey, to be fair, does have the height, and that is going to cause problems for Jesus.
Yeah, no, Frey. Actually, Jesus has picked up some floppers as well. That's a great shot there. Jesus is down to 67 HP, 57 now. He goes into the storm and tries to out-heal Frey. But as we know, that's not going to work because Frey has so much available. He hits the first tack shotgun shot. He will hit the second as well. He's finished off with 6 kills. It's a 12-kill victory for them. And it didn't even need to come down to a heal off there. Some insane shotgun shots to finish us off in game number 4.
Without a doubt, and the fact he still went for the fight while having healing, while he would have easily won that heal off really shows confidence in him there. Of course, to take a look at this intel moments, of course, again, early shots from Fretzel trying to take down these members. Again, trying to get his way up close and personal. And the issue is this game, it's so quick, it meant that we really just had a chaos 24/7 start to finish. And that's exactly how I like my Fortnite, Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely. You're looking right now at the intel moments, of course. Game 4 of 5. Pavlika, he was on a very unfortunate position and unfortunately dies to Storm Core here. This is, I think, is where he actually finds himself a very interesting scenario where he's dropped to such low HP. It might actually be a little bit later by the looks of things. And yeah, you'll see after this fight, I do believe, he's dropped to 7. There you go. And somehow he's at 7 HP. Doesn't even pop the minis. And look at this. The balls on this man to just take that fight knowing that he's a one-shot is unreal. He scoops up both players' worth of loot. That shot from Bobo is disgusting. Quick scope to say the least. And then he finds the second core eventually falling. But it is a fortunate turn of events for Bobo as he's able to pick up a third elimination here. Admittedly, it wasn't a kill to his name, but it was him going to find their health. And then he gets domed from behind Frey, of course, who was our eventual winner. And at this point, he had 3 floppers. He knew he wasn't going to win the eventual outhill, and so he had to go and push back in and try and whittle him down. But with 137, he didn't even have to push it to the heal off. He knew his tac shotgun would deliver it all, and it's going to be a 12-kill game for his team. A victory royale in their pockets, and that's looking great for them.
Yeah, it's really, really looking well, you know. You want to be in and around the top, I want to say, 60, 70 play or 60, 70 trios if you're going to stand a chance going into this final game of the day. Of course, top 33 will qualify for tomorrow. That is it for game number 4. We're going to send it over to a short little ad break, but we will be back with the final game of the day. So please don't go anywhere.
Hello, hello, and welcome to the 5th and final game of this second stage of the Razer Invitational Europe. We've seen 4 very, very fast-paced, very slow-paced, and everything in between in terms of games today. And without further ado, we might be able to get into our 5th. Of course, I say without further ado, we are going to actually wait just a moment for us to get into the lobby. Of course, taking our time, all that jazz. But of course, Ryan and Jack, you've been with me from the start. How have you felt about these?
I don't know how I feel about you saying you've been with me when me and Jack
You've been accompanying me.
Yeah, we had to slog through. I
was afraid today.
Oh, okay. Today that's fine, but
I appreciate that I have actually added you. I think twice now.
Yeah, 2 cups, 6 days.
No. It's been 4 days worth. 4 days worth. It's one day of the last cup.
I've even hyped you up too much. But look, yeah, I'm really excited. You know, top 33 top 33 through from today. We'll get into tomorrow. And we're heading into our final game now. The last time we see the Battle Bus launch, and it is a full lobby. Let's see what happens. Of course, chat, get prepared. Our 5th and final game to determine who will make it through to tomorrow and who will be playing for that €6,600 prize pool.
And yeah, what we have today, you know, we have had lobby problems in the past, but it looks like we are going to have a full lobby to show for you guys. So everybody is really happy here, as now we see everybody flying on in, as it looks like Coral Castle is going to be pretty much uncontested, the same with Stealthy Stronghold. Salty Towers, we're going to see a little bit of action. Sweaty Sands, as always, is a hectic place to land. And indeed, Holly Hedges throughout today, it's been really, really heavily contested. So as we see, Swippy Stacks, he's actually going to be knocked and he is going to be eliminated. I wonder who is going to pick up that kill, but I believe that is the first knock and the first elimination of the day. As now, or of the day, of the game. We've had plenty of knocks. I'd be a bit worried now if we haven't had any kills after 4 games, to be honest. But yeah, nevertheless, we are going to get back underway in this one. And look who it is. My favourite. Save It, Rifle and Slicks. We haven't seen too much of them today. I believe, actually, we haven't seen them at all this tournament. Pretty nice to get to see the Irish boys, especially for the last game. Well, Save It anyway. I'm not too sure about the nationalities of the 2 other players, but I definitely know for sure that Save It is one of the boys in green.
I'm gonna let you keep going. No, keep going. We're still on Save It. Come on, Jack. This is your man.
Nah. I'll let you take over.
Keep praising.
You can cast the god now. Yeah,
He's run out of things to say.
We're not.
It's, elsewhere, we see Nox pretty much all around the map. I believe that's Firehunter we saw get eliminated very quickly on, if my eyes don't deceive me. But for the most time, it's going to be Pablo Wingu and his teammate, of course, making their way across towards this POI just to try and get as much gear as possible. And actually, if they look to take down this AI, it might give them just a bit of extra gear, just an extra chance to move on ahead and just get into a position where not only do they have mats, but they also have semi-decent guns to work with. Again, looking elsewhere, it is going to be fairly combat heavy, actually. You know, we saw these last 2 games. We'd only be about 88 players by the 4th or 5th zone. Here, and especially in game 4, it's just been chaos from start to finish. We've got players falling left, right, and center. And for now, it's going to be down to Downson to just continue getting some meds, getting some materials, and making his way on forward.
Absolutely, this is the prime time for everyone. We've already dropped a considerable amount of players, 18 to be precise. As he'll just hear the car pass by. He's hoping that they don't stop by, and they won't. And now, his opportunity to shine could have been there. He tried to find his way on through and find himself a couple of shots. Fortunately, they were able to escape before anything serious happened. Kaspersa is not quite the man on screen, but most certainly someone else from Tricked is Fexasaur, as he's eyeing up a shot, sniper rifle, and it's missed. And now at this point, he's going to build on up, try and find his way back through, fires another shot, misses again. That's going to be costly. Position compromise. Somehow they don't know that he's shooting. And apparently they still don't, because he might even be able to find another shot onto Ravox. Fortunately, he ducks behind cover just in time, but nearly a very serious criminal offense of somehow them not finding out that they're getting sniped at will continue. And in fact, Fexasaur still eyeing up another, but he's going to take a bullet back. You can eat one, but most certainly I'll eat one as well. As now, It's Vex the Sword going to try and use this harpoon to break down the builds. And he's trying to apply pressure where possible. And in fact, he does so. But in fact, it's Mickey Cup that catches himself perfectly. And in fact, he'll be able to find himself one there. Migna, excuse me, is able to take the elimination. Hig as well is forced to back away. And for the meantime, everyone seems quite content. But nearly already a quarter of the lobby gone. And we're not even in the first zone of movement yet. As that is swiftly going to increase. And we're decreased to 71 players on the server.
Yeah, decreased to 71 players. So again, we've actually quickened up the pace. You know, we definitely won't see Storm Surge as we drop down to 70. Vitality Airwax is in this game, and he's found a kill. It is onto Billy's, I believe, as Fails and Hazard now will begin to build up and take a fight. But I don't know if this is the trio you want to be fighting against. Airwax, Vato, and indeed Solary Kinstar are unbelievable, and they're proven so there, as Fails will go down. Solary Kinstar gonna finish him off, and now last alive is gonna be Hazard. He's trying to escape, but you know, you can't really get away from this trio. They are too good, they are too quick, they are too strong, really. That's there's no other way to put it. Solary Kinstar yet to find a kill, but Airwax and Vato now coming out on top with that. We are down. We've lost 8 trios, I believe. 67 players left in the server, and retail is Solary Kinstar's, Airwax, and Vato's for the taking.
Without doubt. And now that they have this, well, now they have this PRY, we see how they're just going to farm up as much as they can. Can start with loot round the board, including 2 harpoons actually, so he's going to be ready to just go for loot and loot alone, as with very little in terms of utility, in terms of shields, in terms of meds, this harpoons are going to have to try and just snipe gear from a quick kill they might be able to find elsewhere. They're getting that car, they speed on ahead. 68 players remaining now as this first zone slowly moves on in. We take a look at Demon Nicola? I think that's how you say it. Demon Nicola? Something like that. For the time being, it's going to be a bit of an early push out towards this position over at retail. Again, these teams trying to fight, these teams trying to get over at one another, but for the most part, as they both fight for the high ground, these sniper shots ring out either way, and for the player trapped on the floor, Nintendo is going to take a bit of early damage.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but we always get the difficult names on stream.
It is impossible.
I don't know how it's done. Swelder must be having the time of his life, giving us the hardest names to pronounce.
Let's see him pronounce this one.
Yeah, exactly. Let's give him a test. It's like the monkey with a box, isn't it, with a banana inside, and you just, oh, can you do it this time? But for the time being, Demon Nicola is going to have the height with his team. They're going to try and drop on down to a similar level of their opponents. Going to continue to try and drill through these builds with their rifles. But of course, now it's their time to shine. They're going to continue to regress. Demon going to take a bit of damage, drop 30 by a shotgun. And now their time to shine, most certainly in this scenario. But already at 64 players, 23 teams. The server are dropping like flies. It's Iceman that finds a quick kill. The Hive player swiftly going to pick up one. And now going to pop those minis as well. But in the meantime, his teammate actually going to go down. And that's going to be a costly approach. One from each team. They could easily get traded out. And things become a lot more interesting when in a 2 versus 2. Because you ruin the other person's day. Most certainly considering the fact that, you know, you're with a 2-man. Then it's still going to be great for you. You know, your odds heavily decreased. And so Demon's going to make it his duty to try and pick up his teammate. And in fact, they are at 6 kills already, so what's not telling them they can go and get 9?
And yeah, now as we see, Dave loves Maka. He has taken down Hive. Iceman, he has eliminated him. We're down to 23 trios as Flapika is still knocked, and he is going to be finished off. The pressure onto Demon Nicola as Dave loves Maka putting the pressure, applying the pressure as Millismon tries to get away, but these guys are just W-keying like nothing else really. Shani will pick up 1, and Dave Loves Mika will pick up 3 in the end. As now Titter, Easy FN, and Wahoo are gonna begin to apply the pressure towards Sweaty Sands. Dave Loves Mika needs to be careful here as they look down below through the builds. And I wonder will they find anyone. The zone is coming in. It is continued to move on through as Titter now tagging up that car a little bit. Won't be able to hit anyone for a shield that is in that moving vehicle, but is going to continue to move himself as now Bissy will just drive into these builds, and now they're going to try and explode that car. It is going to go boom, and it will take a little bit of damage away from at least one of the players, and it will set a few of the builds on fire too. So players need to be careful. We're going to hear a res. This is absolutely chaos now as another team comes to get involved in this. I believe there's about 4 different teams here towards Sweaty Sands. The zone has stopped moving for the time being, but the fight definitely has not, as Titter begins to have a look to see down below to see if he can find anyone in these builds. Daedalus, Maka and Bissy just hiding, trying to find a few pop shots if they can, but nothing happening at the moment, as now he's getting tagged up by a player, Mick up, I believe, up on the high ground above, and he's going to have to try and get into this hotel if at all possible, as now they are taking so much damage. They're being shot in the back, and now Gamma, I can't even pronounce that. I'm not even going to try. Takes a few shotgun shots in the back, but I mean, look at all the arrows over there at Sweaty Sands. It is absolutely crazy over there.
Without a doubt. And again, as chaos just ensues right now, well, Hoofy's going to be taken down. With that early elimination, let's see how the rest of that team fares. One Shammy is going to make his way back around. I think he's ready for the next fight as well. He doesn't take too much damage. He's got shields ready with him. He's got a pistol to spam down any positions that come his way. However, he'll lead that initial shot from attack there towards that staircase, and instead he'll build on up. He'll look to outflank his opponents here. Again, bit of early damage done either way. Goes for the high ground, tries to get out a few shots, misses his shot now, and will lose his shields as a punishment. With only 20 left, he is going to go for those mini slurps there.
Yeah, now this is their chance to aggress. He's got every opportunity to try and find himself a kill. Going to take a little bit of damage to the storm, but it will not matter, as the movement is actually key in this factor. He's going to throw the splash down, and in fact the second one to assist. And now the other squad looking to try and get away. Oh, that was perfect. I was going to say this play could have been huge, but fortunately they're able to patch a hole in their defenses in time, and this is where things get interesting. Another wall taken. Shani just going to continue to apply pressure, but in fact there is going to be a response. The shot rattling through, drop to 43, get in the taxi, and it's going to be a first-class service, most certainly away from this area. They don't need to take this engagement. They're going to continue to build, continue to move. There's still 1:20 worth of rotations, and for them to take, I think, the only vehicle in Sweaty Sands, that is huge.
Yeah, now we're going to move on over to Colossal Coliseum, where NTM or Pain and Handy I Will Never Lose are here, and they have a look. Vitality, Airwax, and their trio are there, as I believe there's a player being held in the storm. Airwax just being built up on top of, needs to be careful, as now he is just going to build on down, try to take as little damage as possible. Pain now looking down below, spotting the builds. He does have one of those crystals available, so he can use them to rotate if at all possible, as Fato will go down. Solary Kinstar is very low. Airwax has fallen, and this could be one of the big trios gone out of the server, and indeed it is. Airwax, Fato and Kinstar, they fall. MTMR picking up 2 kills. Handy I Will Never Lose with 1. Pain already has 1, and we've lost another trio, another big dog of the tournament taken out. That will probably be them out of the tournament. I'm not too sure about where they are standing, but I will have a quick look after this and double check, as now Pain and this trio, they'll just rotate in after picking the scalps of those big players, and now we might see a little bit of a lull in the server.
Again, everyone rotating towards this desert, and I think once Pain rises above the crest of this hill, he might actually split out a fair few members to try and fight. Instead, him and his team, they take a moment to heal up after their kind of engagement with Kinstar and company. They just go get those meds, they get healed up, and they prepare for another attack. For now, MTMR, he'll make his way on forward. Look, not quite in the zone yet, but looking to do so. And instead, he doesn't go for the rotation in the sand as well. He takes his moment above ground, ready to build if necessary.
And now, every opportunity ahead for most teams. This is the most important game of them all. The last one at that. They've got to give their A game, because, of course, this could be the make or break moment for you. MCMR obviously moving in with his teammates Handy and Pang. Spots out the man. Shots rattle on through, unfortunately. The RNG of those shots weren't exactly on his side, as it is going to be Alfishy that tries to get away. In fact, going to take another shot. In fact, dropped all of his shield. Now Payne has actually been dropped and swiftly eliminated. To find it, or Ash, I don't know. but fortunately for MTMR, he's able to trade him out. Alfishy drops to the floor, finished off by Handy. He's going to pop the minis, and now they look to re-engage just outside the Colossal Coliseum. Both teams here looking for blood and vengeance for each other. As by the looks of things, this is going to be an engagement in which only one team will survive. And by the looks of things, MTMR, he's not exactly in the best of positions right now.
Yeah, not exactly in the best of positions. Handy is there beside him. A nice shotgun shot there, but he takes one in return. He's down to 57 HP, just trying to build on out of the zone, or out of the box if he can. He's being put under a little bit of pressure. His edits are going to have to be good, and they will be. He's replacing these walls, backing away from the fight, which is exactly what he needs to do for Savage. Now putting pressure on Handy, but oh, you get shot in the back. There's a 17 HP. Now he's trying to box up, and the aggressor becomes the aggressed as he will be taken down. It's going to be BL Slicks from over there. He will hit him. He will take him down. That's a good knock to pick up for himself. And now have a look at the zone. Everybody pretty spaced out for the time being. The zone is going to push everybody closer and closer together. There are 2 drops there. People want to, venture out and pick those up. I presume they will be protected by the teams that are boxed up around them. As now we see probably little to no engagements. Ak is going to be taken down. It's going to be Handy picking up that kill. FR Savage finally eliminated by Slicks as Mule. He is last alive in his trio as he begins to look for players in the builds. Kemi is just being res, but Mule decides, you know what, it's not worth it. I'm going to get into the sand. I'm going to begin my rotation in. Kemel is going to be taken down. The res is not going to be taken. Nitzler will pick up another kill as Mule takes a lot of fall damage there. He needs to be careful. He's down to AHP. And he does have a lot of shield, but now he's going to be hard focused, and I don't see any way out for Mule in this one. I think he is going to be taken out of the server. Indeed, he's going to try and box up so Bersic can't shoot him in the back. He does have a big pot as well. He now has a chance. He's been handed a lifeline here, really, because if he can apply a bit of pressure into Bersic's build and he can take him down, he is so low that he will get the siphon, he will get the refresh, and he will get back up to maybe around 158 health without taking any damage, as he will take a wall. He goes for the shotgun shot, so he realizes that this player is low, and he realizes that he has to take the fight, as now it turns into pretty much a 1v1 as BRCIK will try and get into builds. Oh, a lucky miss there as Mule takes the wall, but Bersic is gonna begin to move out. A nice shotgun shot by Mule, and I mean, that's just smart plays. He knows that that player is low. He has to go take that fight when he did, and he did take it. Now he gets up to a respectable HP. He still has none of his teammates alive, but he's picked up another kill in the process. So 8 kills all in all. It's not terrible, and he's still alive. He can still get the placement at the end of this game.
Without a doubt. And again, survival is preeminent here. For the most part, it's going to be these teams, all of which in their own little box, none of which wanting to fight one another. We're still only on our 4th zone, and as this zone does start moving on in, it will not matter. Every single one is in a comfortable position in a box, in the zone, waiting for that new zone to appear, as they all just stay and hold. There's no reason to fight, and so why would they? The only team that is going to be in a bit of issue right now is Joel and Co. fighting Chunky Chimp 66. What a name! As he makes his way on forward, just trying to build his way out of this position as Joel hot on his heels. Joel fairly low on HP as well, though. Joel will be knocked. Chunky Chimp 66 comes out on top, trying to do as much damage as possible, following away up on forward. Again, just trying to get into that zone in the nick of time. I believe he's able to do so, but Luigi will ring out a few sniper shots on him to make sure that he doesn't get too comfortable too quickly.
Absolutely, and now you're looking around as this cinematic continues. You just see the amount of teams just posted up in this sort of area. Of course, as you mentioned, everyone's just waiting for this new zone to form. There's no real need to aggress. There's no need to pick a fight in this time. You just simply play passive, you play smart, you play with your team, and that's the most important point as we see. I mean, the beloved trio of a particular person here. I won't name any names, but, I think we all know at this point exactly who I'm on about here. David and Co looking to rotate. In fact, they're not, because they're in the new zone. They're going to use this time very wisely. They've got the crystals at their feet if they need to use them for any form of rotation. And now this is the time in which they're going to get as much damage as they want. They're going to try to apply pressure as one of few teams within this zone. They don't have the lurking responsibility to aggress forward and find damage or, find the rotation properly. it is as simple for them as just, I'm going to hold and live my life to its fullest, try and do damage where possible. For the majority of these teams, though, they're going to make a swift and easy transition to this new zone, and all should be good for them.
And now we see Savid, Slicks, and Rifle. They've already picked up 2 kills. They need to pick up a few more, as Pulis will get a knock and will get a finish, I believe, as now 32 players are left in the server, 13 trios all in all. And I mean, look at the amount of arrows that are already in the zone. I believe there's only 2 teams that need to rotate in, so you know, we probably won't see too much engagement. Maybe a few people being held out in the storm. You definitely don't want to be one of those teams that are outside the zone, like that team that Gamma. I'm gonna try it if I can see it. Fisher-Minkin, as he takes a shot in the head, and he takes down to 55 as now, or he's not down to 55, he takes 55 to the head, should I say. A nice shot there by Rifle, and now he's down so low. And I mean, this is the problem with being outside the zone at this stage. When everybody else is in the zone, you're just going to get so focused. 2 players are already knocked, and Micknup is going to be last alive. Rifle looking to try and pick up this kill if he can, as Spam comes into the builds. He's running out of mats. Rifle tries to hit a shot. He's so low, and now Rifle thinks about dropping on down and trying to finish that kill. Savid picking up another knock in the meantime as well, as players will go down in the zone. 29 players remain, 13 trios, 6 zone begins to form. It's going to get crazy here.
I think we both know that that 29 is going to shoot down very quickly the second the stone starts moving. 10 seconds left before all of these builds are going to be deemed irrelevant. Everyone is going to have to start moving their way on forward. Of course, we have your boy Savid again, just from the high ground, ready to bring out a few shots down to anyone who even dares encroach within his nearest field of vision. But for the time being, he goes for that rotation. Boost comes down, he'll land straight above down ZSN there. Just trying to catch him off guard, but instead he maintains the high ground. Savid being caught out by 70th Marvel Open, trying to pressure him down. Unable to do so though. Savid just builds up to escape. He's got a teammate to support him, and just like that, Everstrecht caught down, and Savid rains death from above. Savid, he'll finish the job on one of those members. Only 1 player left for that team. The zone deals with Marvel, and for now, this 3-man lineup makes their way forward from the high ground, working their way across to catch out anyone who comes their way.
Yeah, now the height continues for the BL side. At least by the looks of things, they'll be able to keep this height momentarily. And by the looks of things, things are looking upward for this side. 6th zone about to become 7. Save it, of course, with this height, looking to try and extend that lead in height. In fact, finding a dink. Kizengod is going to take a bit of damage. Save it, not done just yet, looking to try and find something, but instead just going to opt to build and connect his builds to the already existing floor. And so at this point, I think Save It and his team have got a great opportunity in winning. We know that this team know how to use the high ground properly. We've said it before. The question is, can they deliver again in this scenario? Rifler, he has the height as well. He'll be continuing to connect the builds, build across. Everything is looking grand for this team. They're looking so strong right now. They're not really doing all too much in that sense. He's just scooped up some builds off of Save It, and now it's their time to shine. Savid is just going to be the manpower behind the squad. He's just going to be applying the pressure where possible. And as for the other 2, well, they're going to have the mixture, and whichever they choose to do the pick of the 2, build or fight, they have every opportunity. As now Rifler actually finding, I think he found that kill. Nope, denied. I think it was Kinsgod that found it. And now the height continues. Haven't exactly had much success in terms of the frag department. Most certainly haven't killed many people from this standpoint. But most certainly, in terms of pressure, they're doing great amounts. And now this is where they're going to exceed in what they're doing. They have the height. They have every opportunity. They've just got to abuse it. And with 20 seconds until that 8th zone forms, they've got plenty of time to just try and apply pressure. Save are going to run back up. He needs the heals. I think Rifle is going to help him with the minis. He may do. In fact, Savid's just popped a shield by the looks of things. And so he'll be back up to full and back in action. 3 seconds until this zone forms. And Rifler, why is it that we are seeing unreal sniper shots today? He even picks up a 2nd as well, so he most certainly will drop down for all that healing. And imagine this, he finds a 3rd. This is unreal. He's going to get the finish as well. He's going to continue to build on up, get in this new zone. He's got plenty of time, and what a play from him. A quick 3 kills. He's actually picked up a 2nd stack of minis. I mean, had that have been floppers, he'd have been living life to its fullest, but instead, He's dealt the minis, but most certainly looking to extend now as Savid is going to be on the aggression. That's a huge 103. In fact, cracks another for 116. 15 points of health is all that's left. Going to try and fire off one more shot. Gets the knock and is able to finish the job. Minis, big pops, everything as it's another. No for the third person's there, and you best believe Savid, Rifler, and Slicks, they find themselves a huge victory. So many kills in their pockets, and that victory most certainly will propel them up that scoreboard. And I'm guessing now they've made it to day 3.
100%. They've definitely made it to day 3. They were 10th, I believe, on the leaderboard when I had a quick look at it during the game. They pick up the victory. And I mean, you can probably tell by the smile on my face, you know, I'm happy about that result. And what can I say other than you'll never beat the Irish? You just won't. I'm sorry, you just won't. But speaking of winning, we are going to see Rayan 10 Alt Werky. You have won the Razer Viper mouse. So congratulations, my friend. Make sure your whispers are on and somebody will get in contact with you. We'll try and send that over as quickly as we can. But Peter, what a game to finish us off today.
What a game to finish it. You said it absolutely. Again, looking at our intel moments, of course. Again, I think this game, the final 2 zones, it was all Savid and Rifler. Again, wonderful stuff by them. Now, again, we see the zone closing on in. Few shots ring out either way, and again, it's just absolute chaos as well as everyone tries to move out at the right time. But this shot from Rifler here, I believe we're about to see that sniper he did again, spamming down, just trying to catch out these members. Again, just trying to get the right angle, able to do so on Crying's God as well. Here it is. All right, this snipe here, I believe it is. Again, sniper rifle out, just straight to the skull. And then Phoenix then just drops on down as well. Why not? Kiro doesn't stand a chance, and when you think he's had enough, he whips out the shotgun, goes for a third, a beautiful crack, followed by a finish. Again, great stuff by him there to pull himself ahead and to really cement a convincing victory for Savid and co.
Yeah, very well played. And there you have it, the Victory Royale. Rifler finishing the last. And with that, we conclude day 2. But of course, there's still day 3 up ahead. We've still got a whole nother day of action, arguably the best day nonetheless. And of course, with these 5 games being over, we're going to end the stream right here. Make sure to drop a follow right here on the Razer channel so you don't miss tomorrow, the action-packed finals day. Chat, do it now. There's giveaways, there's all sorts. You make sure to tune into tomorrow. But until then, we'll see you later.